Hello and good morning, everyone, and welcome to a super special Sunday stream. We are streaming today because today, Blessed Carlo Acutis went from Blessed to Saint, and now that he is officially a Saint, we want to do a special stream for that situation. So, he loved Mario. We are going to play Mario in that honor with a twist. You all wanted to watch me suffer, so this is going to be a suffering stream. It was originally going to be Elden Ring, but we didn't get to Elden Ring, unfortunately. So, here's the rules of how it's going to work. You see a timer thingy down below, or a counter thingy. Every Mario lost will be recorded. Every 10 Marios that die is $1 to charity, and every Mario death is 5 Hail Marys owed. So, we are going to be doing a lot of praying. We are going to be giving a lot of money to charity. We are going to be dying a whole lot. I do have a maximum, just a heads up ahead of time. I cannot afford to donate more than $500, so we'll probably cap that out pretty fast, which is why each Mario is only worth 10 cents. I wanted to have something to work towards, but that is what we are doing today. So, I went on to the Mario Maker forum and asked for people to send me their most devilish, horrible, suffering-inducing levels. So we've got a few levels to do there. If you happen to have Mario Maker yourself, come and join in the fun and give me your levels as well. We are going to be playing for quite a while today to again celebrate Saint Carlo Acutis becoming a saint. I got a new controller just for this, and as you can see, it's not going great as I'm learning this new controller. So that's already a loss. That one didn't count. I was in the middle of the level, so give me a second to feel the new controller out here, and then we'll do this level for real. I found this one, so I thought this was a good level to start on. It seemed like it had a good amount of death potential. So here we go. The counter starts for real, and that is 1, 2. We're off to a great start already, as we struggle through this. I might not be able to control the count. There we go. Get that. Okay, that one, I'm going to say that one was not my fault. I believe that is fully the fault of this controller. This controller feels it's a cheapy Power A controller. That's 2. And it is very floaty. It does not feel like a premium controller. Good morning, Jonathan. I am doing great today. Today is, oh, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. Today is the day we have been looking forward to. It is the canonization of Carlo Acutis, and I'm so happy that he was made saint. I'm so happy that people are talking about it. I think this is going to be an absolutely wonderful stream. I'm so happy that he was made saint, and we're going to be doing some good things in his name today for that. So it is a great day to play some Mario. It is a great day to do some charity work. I'm so happy that he made it to Saint. I'm so happy that people are talking about it. All right, we're making progress. We're making progress finally. So as I said, this is a horrifically hard troll level. Every death is turning into money for charity and Hail Marys owed. So we're at 2 more, and I got to update the counter again. But it is a good Sunday. Yesterday I had to go do a cleaning at the dentist. I had to do a deep cleaning where they like numb your gums and scrape your teeth, and it was horrible. So I'm glad to be done with that. But I've got to do a few more before I can go get my wisdom teeth pulled. And that was awful. We are doing 10 cents per Mario. Because a maximum of $500, because I thought that might take a little bit to hit, but at this rate we're gonna hit that goal real fast. So we're going to update the numbers now. Yeah, maybe 10 cents might have been too much. Maybe it should have been a penny a Mario, because we are chewing through these numbers like no other already on this level. So maybe I chose poorly on that. Bummer. I almost had that one. So it's a good day. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy that today is such a wonderful day. His feast day is, I think they said his feast day is October 12th, so we're gonna have another Carlo Acutis day coming up already here soon again too. So that's kind of cool to get that. He's such an inspiration. I talked about this before, where like I think too many Catholics are focusing on him, like, oh, he's so cool because he played video games. Like, playing video games was what makes him relatable, but it's not necessarily like the thing that makes him a saint, right? Like, oh, I see how that works. Okay. Well, that's the farthest we made it so far, so update the death counter. Gotta believe in yourself and focus. You'll have it in the bag. That I don't know. It's been a while since I've done a Mario Maker stream, and for those of you who have not done my Mario Maker streams, you'll know that I am awful at Mario. As you can tell by the death counter here, I'm pretty awful at Mario. So I don't know about you got this, you got it in the bag, but you know it's going to charity, so that is good, right? So we need to get the POW. We need to grab that POW and spit it at this. I guess we could have the thwomp hit it, right? Like, it worked. So there's no reason that the thwomp can't hit the POW for me. So maybe that's the way to go about it. 2 more deaths. 1 more death. We'll update the counter. There it is. What a brutal start. Absolutely horrible first level to start on here. My cat's freaking out in the background. I also have something else, a little special something else for today once we get there. Which it'll be in a second, I guess. That is a tough first jump right there to get that to hit just right. I was rushing. I don't know if I can do this with... I can do that without the Yoshi. Okay, so if you hit the POW... If you hit the POW, and I'm very careful with my jumping... Do I need... I don't think I need the spring. So let's spit the spring out. Do I need the red Yoshi even? I assume the red Yoshi's there for a reason. So I'm going to say yes. Okay, yes, we do. Well, I guess maybe we can eat the fireball and do that. Okay, so we don't need the red Yoshi. Now we've got to do a sacrifice to the Yoshi jump. Okay, that's going to be... We did it. Okay. Now we've got a moving platform. Oh, I don't like that. Really don't like that. Umid, hello. How's it going? Good morning. As you can see, we are already going into prayer debt this morning. Super, super hardcore. I'm from the United States, the great Pacific Northwest. Oh, wait, I forgot what I was doing. It is a beautiful place out here. One of the best places to live, in my opinion. In fact, today we're going to go out exploring a little bit. I've got an RC car that does some rock crawling, so we're going to go do some rock crawling. Very excited for the rock crawling here soon. Okay, move back. Let him float over that. That didn't work. I wonder if we can time out on this one. Okay, now, hit the POW. Or don't hit the POW, I guess. Why would you? Okay, I think that's how they actually intended for me to do it here. Because this looks much harder now that that flame ball is alive, so... Oh, wait, maybe not. Don't fall in, Yoshi. Okay. Sacrifice the Yoshi. That's the end right there. You can see the bridge. The end is right there. We're so close. We're so close. We did it! Look at that! That only cost us... What was that, 2 Marios? We actually beat a level. Look at that. Pro gaming. All over the place. Alright, so like I said, I went on to the Mario Maker forum and asked them to give me their most heinous levels. Asked them to make me suffer a little bit. So I'm going to now pull up that thread, and we're going to grab some of those horrendous levels from the Mario Maker subreddit. So this one was described to me as a psychological torture level, whatever that means. So they said the only death should come from running out of time, which I don't know how I feel about that, but we're going to give it a try. So for your entertainment today, I submit psychological torture. Okay. That one's not working, so apparently they gave me an invalid code. Let's try something else. See what else works here. D1Y L97 FLF. Okay. Timothy Senior's Pick-a-Paloo. Oh, it's a Picador. Okay. That is going to be tough. Picador is always the most unfun. Here we go. Reach the door after killing at least one muncher. Okay. There's the one muncher. There's the POW we need. Is there like a hidden block? Or is that like, can you do that jump? Like, is that a precision jump? Oh, okay, so you hit the muncher. Oh, we literally have to pick a path. Okay, so we've got red, orange, green. We've got P switches, on switches, and POW switches. And then 2 doors there as well. So we've got... Well, okay. Here's my logic. Today we are dressed as Shrek. So I don't know if you can see the little Shrek ears, but I guess we'll go green. Shrek is green. Green is the correct pipe, so let's do it. Okay, so this looks like the same exact room, but it's not because this door is missing there. So it did take us to a different room, so it's trying to fool us. So I think we chose correctly. So let's try question mark door. Okay, this is a different room as well. Let's go back in green. We've been to this room before, so that didn't work. Red. Orange? I can't tell now if this is the same room or not. Let's hit the P switch. What happens if we hit the P switch? Let's Go in ice door? Okay, this is the starter room because it has this door up here. So that we came back to where we started. So orange. Question mark block. We might be trapped in here forever. Did we solve it? Or is this sending us to our death? I don't know if we've solved it or not, but something's happening. Where is it taking us? We're going for a ride and we don't know where. How long can this go on for? I almost just crushed myself there. That would have been embarrassing. Are we permanently trapped? Is this like Groundhog Day where we have to relive the train ride every time now? I think it is. I think we're supposed to crush ourselves. I think we lost. Okay. We'll not crush ourselves. Wait, this is different. Wait, I got this first try. Never mind. This does not bode well. This does not bode well for us. The path is green, red, P switch on green, red. How are you supposed to remember that? Okay, chat, this is your job, chat. Are you doing your job, chat? We need to do green, red, green with on switches, green, red, green, red, orange. Okay, did you get that, chat? Do you have that for me? See, let's see if the guy's a liar or not. So we go green, red, green, orange, red. Or we had to hit the POW switch in there, didn't we? Yeah, we missed the POW switch. Okay. Do you remember, chat? Do you remember where we hit the POW switch? Are you doing your job and remembering? That's 2 more deaths. So green, red, green, and then we hit the POW, and then we hit orange, and then red. And now we take the middle door? Maybe? Is this the same as last time, or does this look different? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so this is looking pretty familiar. So I guess we did it wrong. You failed me, chat. You didn't tell me the proper instructions. I think we hit the power switch, so maybe it's the on. Maybe it's the on switch that is doing wrong, like the because it has like the red on. Maybe I need to hit that to off. And let's explore in here. Maybe there's something. Maybe if I wait long enough, you know how in like some troll levels there's like these can explode, right? So maybe if we wait long enough, there will be like a like one of the bombs that comes down and blows up the flooring, something like that. So if we wait, like let's give it a good like 20-30 seconds here, because sometimes in these troll levels they hide things that like fall from the ceiling and will blow up the floor, and then a new path will activate or something like that. So let's give that a go. Let's just give this like 20 seconds to think. Maybe. No. Okay. Maybe I was wrong. Like I said, sometimes stuff jumps from the sky, so okay. So the path is green, red, and then it's got the, so maybe I need to turn these off. Maybe I need to hit that, so green, red, and then go into green, but hit the on-off switch, and then go into the red, hit the on-off switch, the POW, and then the orange. Okay. Do you have that, chat? It's your job to remind me on this one again. So it starts, we go green. And then we go to the red. And then before we go into the green again, we need to hit the on-off switch. Then we go into the green. And then we hit the on-off switch and the POW. And then we go in the red. And then we go in orange, and that should be it. That didn't work. Did I do something wrong, you think? Or what's going on? What did I do wrong there, do you think? Because... Oh, okay, wait, we reset it. So this is back to the beginning. So we do green. Red. And then we have to do the on-off switch. Then we hit green. And then the POW. Then red. Maybe the POW here. Now orange. No, that didn't work. But we do have a reset door here, so maybe I hit the POW one too many times. Let's go through the reset door and try this again. No, there's the hint door. We don't want the hint door. We want the reset door. Let us reset. Okay, we're back at the start. So green. Red. We have the on-off switch on, so green now. Now we hit the POW switch. And I hit the wrong door. We might be trapped here forever, y'all. We might be trapped here forever. Because Okay, this is the start. Could you imagine actually trying to figure this out on your own? Green, red, green. With the on switch on. Then we go through... Maybe the POW comes after the red pipe. Maybe we go through the red pipe first. Then we hit the POW. Then we hit the orange. No, that didn't work either. What are we missing? We might have to give up on this one. All right, we're going for our magic ride. I need someone from chat to do me a solid. I need someone to write down instructions because I am failing here. Go through this pipe and then wait some more. And clean my glasses while we wait. I think my math is wrong, actually. It should be $3. It's 10 cents in Mario, so it should be $3 to charity. And then 30 times 5 is 150. Okay, that's right. So we know that it's not this. It's not that. So we got green. I'm going to put it in chat. We have green, red. Oh, maybe there's... Okay, so maybe I'm reading this wrong. So green, red, ice. Green, red, ice, and then on switch. Then green. Then on switch. Then question mark. Then red. Then on. Then POW, then orange. Maybe I was misreading those. I think that's the problem. Maybe I was misreading the... those are supposed to be doors. Maybe he hit the door limit? So if we hit... So we go green. And then red. And then we go through ice. There's the ice block. We hit the on-off switch. Then we go through the green. And then we hit the on-off switch again. Go on the question mark block. Red. On-off switch. POW. And then orange. That wasn't... What did we do wrong? Alright. I will declare this one officially a loss, and we'll move on to the next one, because I don't think we're gonna get that. That is great, though. I do love myself a good torturous level, so let's grab the next horrible one from the list. We have... This is a Suffering Games level. Apparently, someone did a Suffering Olympics Mario Maker level, and this was their submission for the Suffering Olympics. I did not know that someone sponsored the Suffering Olympics. Here we go. Why do people ask for this? There's no reason to play this garbage. Okay. With a 0.04% pick rate, we are in for a serious bad time. A serious bad time. Okay, so we've got to move fast. Don't bunk our head. Okay, maybe a spin jump? Oh wait, there is no spin jumping. Okay, that worked. Okay, this one won't count. I had to take my hand off the controller to update. Update this. There we go. Now I'm going to die because I had my hand on the controller. That one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. Okay. We've got beetle launchers. And we need to get... Okay, so we need to get through that door, but if that thing blows up, then we can't get through the door. So we don't want to hit a beetle shell through... Okay, we don't want to hit the beetle shell. Because that wrecks it. What does the POW do for us? Okay, we need the POW to... Okay. I got it. I figured it out. We need the POW. We need to hit the POW to kill the beetles and the thingies to get the muncher to drop us the key, but we can't hit the on-off switch. So... 3... Okay, so we need to find a safe spot to just stand and chill for a little bit. Without that happening. And that. Alright, one more death and we have to update the counter again. And we have to be right there for to hit the POW, because if the POW lands, we don't have a way to hit it. So okay, Google. What's 40 times 5? I've lost count already. All right, that's a lot of Hail Marys owed already. Okay, so we have to stand right here and not get hit by the beetles. Y'all wonder why I don't like the beetles. This right here is why I don't like the beetles. Okay, I call shenanigans on that. That dude turned around specifically to hit me, and that is not their behavior. They're not supposed to target you. They're supposed to walk in a nice, orderly fashion. Dex is here. Good morning, Dex. Hello. Welcome. Ah. Messed that up. How are you doing this morning, Dex? Maybe if we stand over here and get shot. I just got here. I'm already ruining it. Is it because I said something about the beetles? Did I have perfect timing on that and hit the beetles right as Okay, we got to get those cannons to stagger themselves, and once they're staggered, I can jump in between them. It's just I don't have the sound on right now for me. Like, the sound is on for you guys, but I can't hear. So I can't hear when that P-switch is gonna go off, and I need to be able to track that P-switch. So that's part of the problem. I'm gonna blame my equipment rather than blaming myself for my terrible gaming skills here. Okay, staggered cannons over here. Now we go over here. Just should have done a smaller jump. Now we go over here. Quickly over here. No! No! We were closer. Okay, we got closer on that one. That was the closest we've ever gotten to a win on this level so far, so... What's your plan for today, Dex? You got today off, right? So what is the plan for today? Maybe I can... Maybe if I hit the Buzzy Beetles? Maybe if I make them stand still, that will be easier? Let's try that. Alright, it's too slow there. Too slow. Let's try... Now that I have a plan, I can't even get to the part where I can implement the plan. I am going to blame the controller for that, though. No! I didn't realize there was an on-off switch on both sides. They have to canonize you for all the Hail Marys you're going to owe. I'll tell you, so yesterday I told you I was getting that dental cleaning, and I haven't gone in forever, so it was a fairly invasive and tough dental cleaning. And, holy cow. I said the only way I could get through it was I had my rosary in my hand and I was doing Hail Marys to keep my mind off of it. And I swear I probably did 1,000 Hail Marys sitting in that chair because it was just basically an hour of being tortured while they scraped my teeth. And it was the most uncomfortable feeling in the world listening to them scrape my teeth off. Absolutely horrible. I'm glad I'm doing it. I'm glad I'm taking care of myself now, but... I've got to do that 3 more times before they will allow me to get my teeth pulled and get those wisdom teeth out that I desperately need to get out. So that was horrible. We did a bunch of Hail Marys yesterday, and then I've got a really cool story I was hoping to share once I had all of my Catholics in here. But I'm gonna complain a little bit here. And I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining, but I'm going to complain a little bit here, Dex. And this, I'm not blaming you. This isn't against you, Dex. So I want to be clear up front what I am complaining about. We're doing a special stream today for Saint Carlo Acutis, becoming a saint, special canonization, special feast. Like, it's a big deal for Catholics. It's a pretty big deal for the Catholic community. And I thought, since I'm in multiple Catholic Discords with tons of Catholic gamers, that we would have more people coming out to celebrate this very awesome thing. And so far, nothing. We had absolutely zero turnout. I posted it in 3 different Catholic gamer subreddits that, hey, I'm doing this. I wanted other people to participate also so we could do like multiple streams. We could have a big deal about it. Nothing. Not a single person wanted to donate to charity. Not a single person wanted to do prayers with me. Not a single person wanted to do a stream with me. Nothing. I had zero input from other Catholics. And right now, I've had John. We like John. John is a Norse pagan, right? So far, the support we've had this morning is from a Norse pagan and an atheist. So, like, it's frustrating that we're trying to make this big deal out of something that's wholly Catholic, and the Catholic community couldn't be less interested in it. And then we've got all the non-Catholic community out here participating. Oh, we were so close! It is early and it's Sunday. I do understand that. I do understand, it's early on a Sunday and people have families and lives and all that. Like, I do get it. It's just, it was a frustration to me that I've seen so many Catholics put together so many great things. And when I'm trying to organize it, I couldn't get a single, like, I posted on forums, I posted on the Catholic Reddit, I posted on the Catholic Gamer subreddit. I did all that. Petoni's here! Good morning, Petoni! I came in awkward time. In your defense, Petoni, I did not ask you, because I did not want to bother you, because I know that you're doing morning streams as well. So that is I'm glad we have you here. In fact, now that Petoni's here, we got to update the counter, because I owe another $1 to charity here. 300 Hail Marys owed. How many of those do you want to do, Petoni? Do you want to take on a debt of Hail Marys? I figured you were already doing your own thing, so I didn't bother you because I know that you've got a huge stream going on over there. Okay, I was gonna say we got it this time, but I'm wrong. Mercy to talk about St. Carlo Acutis event and thought it was interesting. Yeah, that's what we're doing here today. We're trying to, St. Carlo Acutis liked Mario. I believe his mother said that he liked Mario, so I consider that a pretty reliable source was his mother. What's that about Hail Marys? So the way I'm trying to make this event work is every death is 10 cents that I'm giving to Carlos Acutis' foundation, his charity, and every death is 5 Hail Marys that I need to say, but I figured I was going to get way too many Hail Marys for me to say myself, so I thought I would reach out to some other people and ask them to say some Hail Marys on my behalf. Mel and Bubble have already agreed to take on some, and so has my wife. We've got a lot of Hail Marys owed. So if you want to say some Hail Marys on my behalf, we currently owe 300 Hail Marys, and that is going up quickly. But he also, not that one. Apparently he also liked Halo. Halo 1 or Halo 2. And as this morning at 8 o'clock, Catholic Game Reviews has an article coming out about the games that he liked and the things he did. So please stop dying. Well, originally we were going to play Elden Ring. Which I don't know if that would have been more or less deaths if we were playing Elden Ring. So I can't tell if this is going to be more punishing or less punishing than Elden Ring. But I did not get Elden Ring from GameFly in enough time to be able to rent it, and I wasn't going to pay full price for... No! Oh, we were so close on that one. Honestly, it could have been less. You can chew through a lot of Marios real fast in Mario Maker, you know? You can definitely chew through a lot of deaths. So this is going to be fun for honoring St. Carlo Acutis, and then apparently his feast date is going to be October 12th, so we're going to do something else again for that. But I want to do something not gaming related for that one, because as I kind of talked about as we were leading up to this event, I'm very glad he's the first millennial saint. I'm glad a lot of people are really like getting into it, that he's the first millennial saint. Like, I'm really glad for that, but I also feel like a lot of people are kind of missing the point that him being a gamer didn't make him a saint. It makes him relatable, but he's a saint because of the grace of God and the wonderful works that he did, and the love of God, right? Like, the gaming makes him relatable, but it's not what made him a saint. So I do feel like some people are missing the point on him being a saint isn't about the video games, but it does make him relatable. So I want to do the next event not about gaming. Nicholas, this is what my nightmares look like. This is I have a whole list. I went to the Mario Maker subreddit and said, hey, make me suffer. Give me the hardest levels you can imagine for this event. So we've got much worse ones to come. As for if you should get Mario Maker, I love Mario Maker. It's still got a great community. And I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to say yes for a selfish reason. I think you should buy Mario Maker because I think the second you buy Mario Maker 2, they're going to announce Mario Maker 3. And I really, really want to get Mario Maker 3. So, if you can be the one who buys Mario Maker 2 that makes them say, okay, now we need to make Mario Maker 3, I will be very happy, because I feel like we need a Mario Maker 3 so bad. Like, this game came out in 2019. It's 2025. Like, we've gone so long without a Mario Maker game that I really feel like it's time for us to get another Mario Maker game. You know my luck. What are your plans around the other event? I don't know exactly what I want to do yet for the other event. he did a lot of stuff with like Eucharistic miracles, and I don't really know what I could do around that. That was real close. But like I said, I just want it to be not gaming focused. I want to focus on some of his other stuff, whether it be like web design or the Eucharistic miracles or anything else that he did. I'd just like to focus on some of the other stuff that he did. So I don't know really. I love photography, so maybe we'll just do a passion stream where like, okay, his passions help to lead him and other people to God, so maybe we just explore our own passions, go out and do some street photography, maybe some bird watching, some hiking. I don't really know yet. Like I said, I just really don't want it to be all about gaming, because I feel like some people are kind of missing the point on the Carlo Acutis stuff. So I want to be fair on all of that accord. But that's October 12th, which I'd say we have plenty of time, but holy cow, October 12th is just like right around the border, right? Like it's coming up fast. Oh, that was the last one. A coding stream. You know, I do know some C++. So we could do was it this is about the most I could do was like it's like see out hello world. Boom. Coding stream. Web design, maybe we could learn some web design. Go on to Wix and design a website. No! We were so close. I gave up on C++ though. I wanted to be a game programmer like every kid does, right? Like every kid now dreams of being, well, now they dream of being influencers, but when I was a kid, you know, video games were huge and all the nerdy kids dreamed of making their own video games, so everyone wanted to be game designers. So I did C++ programming class and immediately hated it. Like, I learned so fast that C++ was not for me. So that's how I learned I was never going to be a game designer, is by taking a high school C++ class and seeing what coding actually was. It's not what you dream of, kids. It's horribly exhausting work where you just sit there and stare at lines of code and hope that it makes sense. C++, it's definitely a rough start. I'm happy you're playing this on Sunday because Ryukar also streams on Sunday, and I'll need to cleanse that. Does Ryukar still play Mario Maker? Like, I don't get, like, I used to follow Barb, Grand Pooh Bear, Ryukar, and Thab, which were all pretty decent-sized Mario Makers, if not some of the biggest Mario Maker people, but I don't get, like, any updates from them anymore. I don't know I know people talk about YouTube sometimes, like, turns off the notification bell on you, so I don't know if that happened to me, but I haven't seen, like, any of them doing any Mario Maker stuff recently. But I used to be really big into those. I know Thab took a break from it because he started doing the, trying to beat the entire N64 library, and he's been doing that for a couple years now. He's mixing it up lately. That's good to hear, right? You get sick of playing the same game over and over and over and over again, right? Unless it's Helldivers. We can play Helldivers forever and ever and ever. And we will. See, you see how that beetle, like, specifically targeted me? You see how he turned around and, like, specifically ruined my day? Like, that felt personal, is what I'm saying. Oh, that was so close. Polyblank's here. Good morning, Polly. No. All right, we might have to give up on this level. We might be at a point where we're unable to. We might have to admit we're not good enough to beat this level. You know, that might be time to admit we are not skilled enough to beat this level. That might be the point we're at here. This is a lot of Mario deaths. So close. We'll give this another 25 Hail Marys, and then we will move on to the next horribly torturous and painful level that will end in many Mario lives lost. 3 more. Also, if you couldn't see, I got this shirt at Target the other day. It was a shirt and hat combo, and it is Shrek. I don't know if you can see the little, like, Shrek, the Shrek ears aren't showing up super well, but it's got little Shrek ears on top of it, so I thought it'd be fun to be Shrek for the stream, so, yeah, the Shrek ears aren't working super well, but this is a Shrek hat and his little Shrek vest. So I am Shrek today, and it feels good. Feels good to be Shrek. Also, my costume for Halloween arrived yesterday, last bit of it, so I can be Squid Games for Halloween this year. I got the pink pants, the pink jacket, and then the mask thing. So we are going to be Squid Games for this year. I'm proud of you, Shrek. The other good news with that is here soon I will have lost enough weight that I will not be able to cosplay Shrek so well. Emmy is being Squid Game, but she's being a different Squid Game. She's being I don't remember her name, the evil robot thingy from the first season that they have to do, like, the green light, red light, and if you move, then it shoots you. She's dressing up as the evil robot. It has a name, but I couldn't tell you what its name is, but that's what her costume is. So we're going. It is a couple's costume, but we're not the same thing. What it's like Isabel, something like that. Also on the Isabel thing, we're gonna go see the new Annabelle movie today, the new Conjuring, which apparently, as a publicity stunt, and I don't believe this for a second, they claim that they hired real priests to stand outside of the cinema and bless people who went and saw the movie because, you know, it's so scary. And I can't believe for a second that a real priest would actually be bought off by a studio to go do blessings, like real blessings, outside of a horror movie. I don't believe for a second that is actually accurate. I'm pretty sure they hired actors to pretend like they are priests to bless people, but I like to think that our priests maybe would have more integrity than that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think any actual Catholic priests did that. Now, it's possible that they're like a non-denominational priest, maybe, or maybe they did like I went online and got my priest degree. Maybe it's someone like that, but I don't think they got actual Catholic priests to go out there and do that. Another story I wanted to share for today was yesterday I went to confession through my fault. I ended up in confession once again, and while I was going into confession, I thought I got there early enough to be the first one in line, but there were 3 people in line in front of me when I got there. And they said that they were there for their first confession, which is beautiful, but this gentleman was in a wheelchair, and he was trying to lead the rosary, and there's some sort of, I could tell there's some sort of difficulty speaking. But how beautiful was it, and what an inspiration to other Catholics. That there you have this person who is struggling to speak, who is going for their first confession, so they've just joined the faith or are pretty new to the faith, and they're leading a rosary. Like, I was so inspired by walking in, and this guy was praying the rosary and leading us. So I just joined in. I joined in by about 10 minutes past, 10 or 15 minutes past, we had 7 or 8 people in line, all being led through the rosary, which was just absolutely beautiful. And I was just stunned by this guy had so much, like, bravery and passion to lead a rosary before confession. And we had so many people doing the rosary that Father came out, like, I heard a bunch of noise, what's going on in here? And he realized that this guy was leading everyone in the rosary before confession. And I was like, oh, well, let me go get my stuff and we'll start the rosary. It was just a really beautiful moment. Ben, welcome in. I'm sorry you missed the stream, definitely. But the channel membership, that was from A Tofu. He came through and donated 20 memberships last stream, which was pretty amazing. So he hasn't joined us yet today, but A Tofu gave 50 memberships. A bunch of these levels have been taken down, apparently. I wonder how bad are these levels that everyone gave me that they're already taken down. Like, Nintendo's out here giving the ban hammer left and right on people. But yeah, I was just very, very impressed that this gentleman was joining the faith and just had so much passion for the faith that he's moving forward, you know? We are playing Mario Maker, and every death, this is our special Carlo Acutis stream, so every death is 10 cents donated to charity and 5 Hail Marys owed. You can see the counters at the bottom. We are deeply in debt already. Yes, we reached monetization. I just set up memberships 2 months ago. Like, I've had the option for memberships a lot longer, but I decided not to do it for a while. But I was like, you know what? Let me put the option there. If someone wants to become a member, we'll do the membership. So I've only had them for a few months. Maybe it's my internet. Maybe it's not. Maybe Nintendo's not taking these maps down. Maybe my internet's just not working. Maybe that's the problem. I am an influencer officially. Now that we have memberships, officially an influencer. Okay. It can't be a fluke that 3 levels aren't working. Let's just go to Course World and grab a random course and see if it will load anything. Let's just grab the first new course that was uploaded and see if it'll actually let me play or if my internet is broken. Oh, this one says puzzle solving. Okay. Let's solve a puzzle. I miss doing this in Forge and Halo Reach. I love any game that gives you the ability to any game that gives you the ability to make your own stuff is amazing. Chaotically funny guy, fun guy. Welcome in. Hello. Okay, nothing is working, so I want to. But if it's my internet, so here's the question: if it's my internet, how am I still streaming? Like, if my internet died, how am I still talking to you all? Will it let me play a Super World? Okay, this seems to be working, so how is it I can't do anything else but this is working? You just got up and you're still tired? I feel that. It is 5 a.m. where I am at. I got up at 4 a.m. this morning, so I understand the tiredness. Okay, so that's not working either. Let's try. Yeah, let's try restarting the game. Let's reset. It is early in the morning. We are allowed to welcome in Loud T-Rex. We are playing Mario today for a special St. Carlo Acutis stream. I needed a game where I would die a lot. Every death is 10 cents donated to charity and 5 Hail Marys owed. So I wanted something that was going to absolutely wreck me. Just started playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Very awesome. We are fans of Pokemon here. Next month we get to play Pokemon Legends ZA and potentially do the what is it? The Nuzlocke Pokemon Legends ZA. Do a no-hit Elden Ring run. We were originally going to play Elden Ring. Like, Elden Ring was on the list for a game to play. The problem was I forgot to get it from Gamefly in time, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll just go buy it and play it. But I didn't. Elden Ring is still full price. Like, I wasn't going to pay $60 for a game that I know that I'm going to hate and I'm only going to play once, right? So we decided with Mario Maker because I didn't want to buy Elden Ring a second time knowing that I was going to hate it and wasn't going to play it. So we might still play Elden Ring at some point since I owe you all Elden Ring, but for now, this would have to make do. You want to get some more Pokemon games? I don't really want to drop $70 on a game. That is definitely a Pokemon problem. That is a Nintendo problem with their games never going down in price, right? I haven't heard GameFly in years. They are still in business and they are renting out. It's about, I think it's $23. $23 a month gets you 2 games you can keep as long as you want. And I love their business model. I saved probably $1,000 last year. I did the math. I saved $1,000 or $2,000 last year by using GameFly rather than buying a bunch of games that turned out to be horrible games. So 100% love that. Okay, we need that P-switch. Do you have interest in randomizers? Pokemon randomizers? Pokemon, so it's in a weird spot for me. Pokemon randomizer, I loved playing Pokemon randomizers, and we did Pokemon Nuzlocke challenges in Pokemon Infinite. But then I started doing a... Okay, so we need the P-switch 100%. For Catholic game reviews, yes, they are disc copies. Catholic Game Reviews asked me to do an article on piracy and whether or not piracy is a sin. And as I was researching for that article, I started wondering if randomizers and Nuzlocks and ROM hacks fall into that category. And I really wish the Catholic Church would come out and make a ruling on this topic, just because I would like some official guidance from the church. But as I was doing it, I realized that ROM hacks definitely fall into a gray area. Like, I've purchased the Pokemon game, so like I bought the game, but ROM hacks are still using someone's property without their permission. Nintendo really doesn't like the ROM hacks, so does Nintendo have a right to tell us not to play a game in a certain way? And so while I was trying to figure that out, I deleted my randomizers and mods and said, let me revisit this once I've actually kind of put some more thought into this. Because like Loud T-Rex says, you're absolutely right? You're modifying the game files you already have. So, but I mean, there's a lot of people who play ROM hacks where they don't actually own the game. They just download the hack and they haven't purchased the game. So it's definitely encouraging some people to pirate those games. So it became on my mind of, is this actually right and good? And I couldn't answer that with 100% certainty. So I said, let me put this aside for now. And I focused on just doing random vanilla Nuzlocks, which, again, if you've seen any of my vanilla Nuzlocks, I'm so terrible at Pokemon as it is that, like, I don't need a ROM hack. I'm already so bad at Pokemon that I can fail at a regular Pokemon game without needing a ROM hack involved. So, you know, I do just fine being awful on my own. The ROM hacks are piracy, and that's just gray area. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, because it is definitely a gray area. But it was enough that I said, let me just play regular games. I find the arguments compelling that state that if you have the hardware to rip your own ROMs, you can do that, but downloading ROMs off the internet, I'm pretty unconvinced. And that's definitely a thing. Like, that is the whole point. That's where, like, ROMs came from, right? The whole idea was that you purchase this game and you're downloading the game that you already purchased and owned so that you have a copy of it for your own personal use. Like, there's definitely no problem with that. I fully agree with that, but there's gray area. There's lots of gray area, unfortunately. The only game I've ever pirated is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, because you can't find a copy hardly at all, and the ones you do find are anywhere from $80 to $200. And that's actually a part of the contribution. So thank you for bringing that up, Ben. Another reason that I stay away from piracy is because old game collections, they literally have become like it's basically an investment, right? If you invest in an old game and have like a sealed old copy of the game, then does that person then have a right to the extra money that comes from investing in that game? And I think there's definitely a solid argument you can make in that. Well, that person invested in this game, so they deserve the profit from that game. So there's a game that have positive relationships with modders like Subnautica, Factario, Slay the Spire, XCOM. The difference with those modders typically, though, is you have to own a copy of those games in order to do that, right? Like Slay the Spire has tons of mods, but you have to own the game in order to mod it. Whereas like with a Pokemon ROM hack, you don't have to own Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire to play a Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire hack, right? But like Def Jam Fight for New York. Emmy got me Def Jam Fight for New York for my birthday. Love that game, but it is definitely an expensive game. So like, do the people who invested in keeping a copy of the game or keeping it sealed or whatever deserve the extra investment and money that they make off of having kept that game for so many years? And I think that's also an interesting question we can ask ourselves is about the ethics of investing. I'm going to put some food on before I join a debate. Okay, now that this seems to be working again, we got PG5, Q, J, 5, C, N, F. Let's see if this works now. No. Okay, so that one's not working at all. We have L, F, C, Y, L, M, M, J, F. I didn't mean to bring up a whole hot topic. We appreciate hot topics on this channel. You don't have to worry for a moment. In fact, my chat probably likes talking about this much more than they enjoy hearing my other terrible opinions about the Beatles or Legend of Zelda or any of the other things. Why is this being so complicated today? Why does it not want to... L, F, C, Y, L, M, M, J, F. I'm going to ask my school's debate team what they think. Let's hear it. We're in the early stages, but some friends in the Reach community are looking into hosting a multiplier randomizer event. Would you be interested in talking further? Yeah, DM me the details. For sure. I haven't really played Halo since Halo 2, so like I'm not good at Halo in any way, shape, or form. So if you're expecting people to be good at it, you're not going to get that out of me. But J7022G. I don't encourage piracy because the way I see it, if you enjoy a thing someone has to pay for, it doesn't exist. But if the company isn't the one making money off of it, such as retro games, and the games are no longer being sold, I don't see a problem with it. My proxy settings are messed up. Okay, so I can't connect to the internet at all, so that is a problem. Is shrimp and red sauce considered a sin to Italians? My take on piracy is that if you do it and enjoy the content you pirated, you should support them by buying the game. That's definitely as far as I can tell from my research, the stance Catholics should take is piracy is theft and should be bad. But apparently that is a hot topic. If you say that on any of the Catholic forums, you'll definitely have people come out and tell you that you are wrong for that, because piracy is different than theft, and it's a whole thing. If you want my thoughts on it fully, though, Catholic Game Reviews does have on their website, Is Piracy is a Sin? That is an article that I wrote on the topic. We had multiple priests come in and validate that. So I believe that the opinion that I have written is the most accurate one, because we have had multiple priests confirm the content before we published it. So what's the deal with pork, and why do so many religions think that it's unclean? So my understanding of why so many religions think pork is unclean is that if we look at the Bible, which would be like the basis for Islam to a degree, and of course Judaism with the Torah, when we're talking about the old school Bible, we look and see that a lot of the rules and laws in like Leviticus and those sort of things were rules and laws for how to build a civilization. And a lot of those rules and laws were meant and built for a time where we didn't necessarily have the modern medical advancements and all that we have now. So pork, of course, if not prepared correctly, is very dangerous to eat because of the worms and other diseases in there. So my understanding is that the ban on pork in early religions comes from the wisdom of this can be a very harmful food for you if it is not prepared properly. Therefore, we are going to ban it to prevent those illnesses and sickness. In the same way that my understanding of a lot of the Levitical laws around like cleanliness and avoiding dead bodies and don't touch things that have certain diseases and things like that isn't necessarily like a comment on morality. It is a comment on these things can make you sick, and the goals of this is to create a people and expand, which means we need to prevent sickness, which is why these rules are in place to prevent sickness, which is actually why a lot of people ask, well, why don't modern Christians follow the Levitical law? It's a big question. It comes up a lot. Well, Leviticus has a lot of laws like tattoos. Why can modern day Christians get tattoos when it's banned in Leviticus is a very common question. And the reasoning for it becomes that there's a difference between the law that came in Levitical times for building a civilization and the moral law. Some of Leviticus is a law on morality, and some of Leviticus is a law on specifically Judaism and building a civilization. And so modern day Christians follow the moral law because the moral law has not changed, whereas the law around like cleanliness and all that has changed due to the way modern day has advanced. So that is my understanding of why we don't necessarily follow all the Levitical laws and why there's a bunch of laws in there that don't make sense. In the same way, like a lot of Leviticus is about you can't wear multi-fibered clothing, right? Like this shirt is a blend of multi-fibers and would be a sin in Levitical times. Well, if you look at like the environment they were living in, wearing a pure cotton garment would be a much more effective way of beating the desert heat than wearing a non-cotton garment, right? So it is not a comment on that is morally wrong. It is a comment on this will keep you safer, therefore keep this law. My interpretation of why Jewish tradition specifically would be hard on pork. So that's my understanding. Again, I'm nowhere near an expert on the topic, but I do believe that is at least well, what would be the right word? It is a very basic understanding of the rule and law. Would leather be considered a fiber? I don't believe that leather would be considered a fiber, no. Alright, how are we gonna do this? Oh, maybe we have to be like really fast, is that? Yeah, we have to be really fast. I'm not going fast here. Religion is just life on hard mode. So here's the thing about that. That's actually a really great comment I like to talk about. That when you look at a lot of religion, you look at the rules and say, yes, this is really hard. It'd be really hard to live by those rules. And I agree. From the outside looking in, you look at some of those rules and you'd say, yeah, this is very hard to live by. I couldn't possibly do that. But once you start living those rules and understanding why those rules exist and what they do for you, you start to see that no, this isn't necessarily as hard as I thought it would be, and like I understand why they are in here why these rules are in here in the first place, and it becomes a much easier ask to do those things once you understand the why behind it. Now, granted, there still are things that are very hard. Like you'll see if you go to the Catholic forums in general, you'll see a bunch of people who talk about like struggling with lust and all those sort of things. So definitely not saying that it's easy, but once you understand the purpose behind the rules and that those were made because God loves you and God has a plan for you, and those rules help you to reach and strive for that love and perfection, it becomes a lot easier to fully understand and enjoy those rules. So it is hard mode at first, but once you get the hang of it, once you understand it, it becomes much easier, and life becomes a lot better once you start seeing the why behind it. Like, since I became Catholic, I have lost almost 200 pounds. I've become a much more empathetic, loving, and caring person. I've become a better husband. I've become a better person. My life is so much happier and better with Catholicism in it, because I have let that kind of move into my life, and I fully understand the ideas behind what is being said, what is given, and why. But it took years of living that to finally understand, why are these rules in place? What does it do for me? And I'll give you an example. One of the ones that really I struggled with was before I became Catholic, I was deep into Satanism, and especially like tarot and divining and all those things. I super enjoyed it, and I'm embarrassed to say this, we've talked about it before, but like, I made money off of it. I did tarot readings for money. I convinced people to give me money to do tarot readings for them, and I feel absolutely awful for that. And then when I wanted to become Catholic, that was the one that I really struggled to give up, because like, I really enjoyed doing tarot readings. I really enjoyed divining, and I was like, but this isn't hurting me. This isn't like going to physically harm me. And as long as I'm just doing it for entertainment, why would God ban it from me? This law doesn't make sense. But once I understood more of why God was telling me not to do that, and I gave that up, I truly did become a much happier person without the ghost hunting and the tarot card reading and stuff in my life. But it took a while to get to that point. Like, it didn't just happen overnight. So I understand that perspective, and that's why I'm always happy to talk about, like, it does look hard from the outside, but once you get into it, it does get a little bit easier. Back sometimes, someone go posted an image to Twitter where they were pirating Ultra Kill, and the game developer Hikita responded that it's okay if you pirate it as long as you spread the word. And that is something that some game developers definitely do have a say in, but I don't believe all game developers have a say in that, right? Because there are game developers who say that, who say, yes, pirate our games, we don't care. But like, if you are like a game developer but not the studio's the one who actually like published the game, right? They paid the money for it. So if you developed the game and created the game but someone else paid for it, do you have a right to tell people they can pirate the game when that doesn't impact you, because you already made your money off of it, but the publisher is still trying to make their money? So little indie games can do that, of course, because they're the maker and the publisher. They have the right to say, yep, we want you to be able to pirate this game because we don't care. But if you are beholden to a investor or a publisher, you might not have the right to say that. So that's also an interesting part of the conversation, right? Okay, can we do this without the POW switch? Like, if we just have the fireball, that might be easier than trying to make the POW switch work. I'll probably regret this, but we're making it work. I should have broke that brick. Maybe I can still break it with my butt. Yes. Okay, POW switches. Give me POW switches. Let's see. I think we need to go down here. Yep. Okay. Now we push that guy back. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing it. And we're going to get hit. And we got 8. But it's still, like I said, it's all an interesting conversation. Anytime we're talking about gaming, that I mean, the church is still behind on that. So I was hoping maybe with St. Carlo Acutis being sainted in the talk around video games, maybe we'd get some guidance in the future on this. But you know, the church is still figuring things out, right? We're constantly learning, and that's one of the great things about the deposit of faith, is our understanding of God and the world around us can change as we become more and more engrossed in the faith. Atofu is here. Hello, Atofu. Ben, this is Atofu is the one who gave us all the memberships. So that is our wonderful person who has blessed us with all the memberships. I personally struggle with lust. You are not alone in that. I think everyone, especially anyone aged like 13 to like 30, 40, 50 is going to struggle with lust. We live in a society that pushes it to the forefront. You can't drive without seeing a billboard full of lust. You can't go without seeing adult stores with stuff on display. Like, it is fully in our society. Here is my number one recommendation for beating that struggle. Is if you are medically able to. I am not a doctor, so let me first cover my bases by saying I'm not a doctor and I can't prescribe anything, so don't sue me, please. I'm already in debt to this charity. I cannot afford a lawsuit. Fasting. Fasting is the number one way to overcome lust and overcome really any sin in your life. And here's the idea behind it. Is when you fast, you are telling your body no to something that you need, which is food. We all have to eat. So if you can learn to tell your body no to food, then you'll get better at saying no to things your body doesn't need, which is giving into the temptations of lust. In fact, right now, as of August 15th, the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, they started what they called St. Michael's Lent, which is a second Lent that a bunch of Catholics started doing for the sake of just becoming better Catholics. And for St. Michael's Lent, I decided to do a 40-day fast. So I'm about halfway through the 40-day fast. It was originally only eating one meal a day. Unfortunately, while I was doing that, I was getting some blood work done, and the doctor made some recommendations. I had to change my diet for health reasons. So I can't do the fast exactly as I was doing it, unfortunately, due to medical reasons. But I am still doing it, and we are about halfway through the fast. I've lost about 15 pounds at this point. Like, it has been a serious fast, and I've gotten such a new understanding of food, of God, of life from doing this fast. So if you're able to, I highly, highly recommend fasting as a way to overcome those temptations, learn self-control, and become happier. Find an accountability partner and even getting an accountability software. Definitely find an accountability partner, and one of the key things for that, please, if you get an accountability partner, don't make it your child. There is that one guy in Congress. Who famously was talking about that his accountability buddy for pornography was his son, and he would regularly tell his son when and what and how he was looking at pornography. And I feel like that is such a inappropriate relationship to have with your child. It should be your peer. It could be a spiritual advisor. It could be a friend in your peer group. But making it your own child was such a creepy and bad decision. I cannot for the life of me figure out why that guy thought it was a good decision to tell his kid that. That was such a terrible, terrible decision. I could not believe it. So get an accountability partner, but don't make it that. Also, I personally can't recommend this one because I have not tried it, but I have seen a great deal of men who have said that this works. And I say men because this is specifically a program that is designed for men. What in the world is an accountability software? So there are a couple different programs that you can install that make it so that it blocks like pornography, or that it will send a message to your accountability buddy if you're trying to access inappropriate content. And the idea is that I'm going to go to a dirty website. That then will be blocked, and it'll send a message to my accountability partner. So my accountability partner then knows, oh, hey, Waffles is struggling right now. I should call him and help him since he is struggling with this in his life. It's a way to guard yourself, but also to tell your accountability buddy, hey, I'm really struggling and I really need your support right now. It's basically the same thing as doing like a child lock, right? It's the same thing as child locking websites, and you can basically blacklist websites on some of them and say, do not allow me to access these websites. And you put in the websites and it just permanently blocks those websites so the temptation's not there. You are not able to access those places. There's even some where you get an accountability buddy where they set it up, because like child locks work, but like if I'm setting up the child lock on my own computer, that does me no good, right? Because if temptation is there, then I can just, okay, well, I'm going to go turn off the child lock, and then boom, I have access again. So you have like the accountability buddy set it up, and that way you don't have a way to turn the child lock off because you don't have access to it. So there are just other ways to help fight temptation with different tools. Because we live in a time of tools, right? We are modern day men, so we have tools. You'd have to really trust this person. Yeah, definitely. The person that you trust to be an accountability partner has to be someone you deeply trust. That is a non-negotiable, because you're going to be sharing vulnerabilities with them. You're going to be sharing embarrassment with them. You're going to be sharing struggles with them, and you really have to pick someone good for it. The other program I was talking about is called Exodus 90. I personally don't think I would benefit from this program, but it does exist, so maybe check it out. Exodus 90 is a program that was started to help men return to a... I'm trying to think of the name, Stoicism. Stoicism and... it's not aesthetic. Aesthetic isn't... What is the word for people who live a life of... minimalism? Like you don't eat food for pleasure, you eat food because it's fuel. You don't use spices on your food because food isn't meant to taste good. Food is meant to be fully fuel. What is the word for that? It goes with hand in hand with stoicism. Someone tell me what that word is. But the Exodus 90 program is things like no TV, no screens, no cell phone. You're not allowed to take hot showers. You have to take cold showers. It's about removing all the comforts of your day-to-day life and returning to discomfort, displeasure, and forcing your body through things that are difficult. And when you do that, you gain a greater control over your body when you are able to tell your body, no, you don't get a hot shower, you only get cold showers. No, you don't get TikTok like you want. You have to suffer through reading a book. We have to sit down and read the Bible, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of good to be had in that program, but it is very, very intense. So it is definitely not for everyone. And it specifically is a male-only program, and they highly recommend, if you're going to try it, you must find other like-minded men who are doing it with you, because they say you will fail if you don't have a strong support group of men to help you with that. I love the ideology of Stoicism. I've been listening to Marcus Aurelius Meditations. It's crazy you brought that up. There's a 100% free antivirus software called Mobile, which includes web filtering, which also blocks pornography and gambling. Can I name it? Yeah, name it. 100%. Please do. It's like being a monk. So Stoicism, I struggle with Stoicism, and here's why. So we're gonna get deep into the theologies of the world. And again, I'm not a theological expert, so these are my opinions and thoughts. But I am not a theological master. Stoicism makes sense for part of Catholicism, in like denying yourself, in giving up the pleasures of life. However, I am of the firm belief that one of the top things is that God created us in his image, and part of that is God created us for recreation and enjoying the life that he has blessed us with. So, yes, doing works of mercy, sacrificing for God is good, but just as good is enjoying the life that God has given us and enjoying the gifts that God has given us. And I think that there are people who go so far into Stoicism that there is just no more enjoyment in life. And I do think that goes against God. God gave us, we're playing video games right now, right? Now, granted, the video games are a means to an end for me to talk about God and evangelize, but it's also entertainment. God created us for entertainment. In the same way when we talk about like capitalism and working too much, God didn't create us to work 80 hours a week, every single week, and work in a factory 12-hour days. That's not what God created us for. And part of what God created us for, I do believe, is for pleasure and enjoyment of life. So I do think there is a way to get too far into stoicism where we are now going against the reason God created us, which is partially for enjoyment. I think taking a cold shower in the winter, especially where I live, is not the greatest of ideas. Probably not a great idea everywhere, but it definitely is a great way to fight those pesky conveniences of the modern life. I used to do cold plunges. Cold plunges sound fun. I do think that there's some fun to be had in some of the polar plunges. So, like food. I talk about food a lot because I used to weigh 440 pounds. I used to be severely overweight and killing myself slowly through eating too much food. I enjoy the way food tastes. There's no getting around that. I clearly enjoyed food way too much. I was deep in the sin of gluttony. I was eating food for the sake of eating food, not because I needed it, because I enjoyed it. So there definitely is going way too far in that realm. You should not eat food to that excess where you get to be 450 pounds like I was. On the other side of that spectrum, I also think that it is bad to say that I won't put salt and pepper on my chicken because seasoning is vanity. That is also another problem, I feel like, to be so far down the rabbit hole that you won't even eat seasonings because pepper is bad, you know? So I don't disagree with stoicism, but I do think like everything, it is possible to do a good thing so much that it becomes a bad thing, right? And that is something that we talk about all the time, where sin is a disorder of things. Anything can be sinful if it becomes disordered. And specifically, the number one example people give is sex, right? A lot of Catholics fall into this idea of, oh, sex is this dirty, evil thing because the Bible says that it's bad. No, it is a thing that has a purpose that God has given us. But when we engage in those activities in a way that is contrary to the reason why God gave it to us, then it becomes disordered, and that disorder becomes sin. The same thing like reading the Bible. Reading the Bible is a great thing. You wouldn't think it would be a bad thing, but I can think of a way, if a man reads the Bible so much that he says, wife and kids, I will no longer be spending time with you because I need to read the Bible. I will no longer be taking care of you. I will no longer be going to work. I will no longer do any activities with you because I must read the Bible 23 hours a day. Well, that's starting to move into the realm of sin, right? Because now this person is doing something that is good, reading the Bible, but they're doing it so much that it's negatively impacting their other duties to God, which includes taking care of their family, earning money to take care of their family, raising their kids, loving and spending time with their wife, right? They have taken something that is good and beautiful, and they've taken it to such an extreme that it is now becoming a sinful action because it is disordered. We are supposed to read the Bible. We are not supposed to read the Bible so much that we can't take care of our wife and kids, right? So even good things can be taken to an extreme where they are no longer a good thing. Holy cow, we just now got to a checkpoint? I feel like we've been playing this level forever. So that is my long-winded way to say stoicism is good, but there is such a thing as too much stoicism, so be careful. That's all my point is there, that you can go too deep into the stoicism. At my public pool, the water was so cold I couldn't feel my limbs. That feels great for all of 5 seconds, and then you get the shivers and it becomes horrible. 515 Hail Marys owed and counting. Alright, let's go this way. There's a staircase over here, so maybe we're meant to come over here? Yeah, this looks right. What was the point of that? Oh, the POW. Okay. Now we've got the POW. This level is really well made. This level feels like a really fun kind of puzzling sort of game. All sin falls on a spectrum for me because, like you said, it's circumstantial. Definitely. Well, there are things that will always be a sin, right? There are the morality laws like we talked about. There are things that will always be a sin. Pornography, again, is like the most easy example when we're talking about this. But then there definitely are things that become a circumstantial, that this isn't necessarily a sin, but it's the context around it that matters. And there's a whole interesting debate. There's a podcast called Pints with Aquinas. Highly recommend you check this out. There is a debate about lying. Because there are, obviously in Catholicism, we say that lying is bad and lying is sinful, but there is a question about where the line is drawn on lying. For example, lying to cheat on a test is bad. But the number one example people give is if you lived in Germany during World War II and you were hiding a family, and hiding them was the only way to prevent them from being harmed, would it be sinful to lie about hiding that family? And there are two schools of thoughts, and they bring on a priest and a monk who talk about this topic in depth. And they say that either A, all lying is sinful, and you should say, I'm not going to answer your questions. Do what you will do. I am not going to answer your questions and face the consequences for it. But there's also the school of thought that it's not a lie if they don't have a right to the information. In the same way that, like, if you are a spy, if your job is officially, I am a spy for the United States government, I'm not, please don't come after me. But say you're a spy, and your job obviously involves a lot of lying. And someone comes up to you and asks you, hey, are you a spy? They don't have a right to that information. So is it a lie if you say no, not because your intent is to lie, but your intent is they don't have a right to know whether or not I'm a spy, so I am not going to provide that information. So it's a really interesting topic to go into what constitutes a lie, and is all lying bad? Sorry, I'm talking a lot. I need my water. A tofu. I'm going to throw a disagreement. It's a very specific disagreement. One second, my game locked up here. Why is it... Okay, we have to cancel and close out. So, you said that reading the Bible should be done for oneself, interpreting the content or discussing with one another, but not to restrain or talk down to other people. I agree with that sentiment in general. However, one correction I will say is I don't believe everyone should be interpreting the Bible. And I'm going to use America as an example. In the United States, over half of people cannot read above a 8th grade level. Good morning, Bubble. So we know that most people cannot read above a 8th grade level, and there is probably 20 to 40% of people who are functionally illiterate in that they can read words, but they cannot fully comprehend what they are reading. So using that as a contextual basis, I do not think everyone should be interpreting the Bible themselves because they simply don't have the tools and skills to fully comprehend and interpret what they're reading. And when everyone is empowered to interpret the Bible for themselves and tell other people what they think the Bible means, that is how you get Protestants. Because that's exactly what Protestantism is, right? That is someone who read the Bible and interpreted it for themselves and say, I disagree with the church on this because I think this. And that's why we now have a million different denominations, because all these people have come through and said that they believe differently. So I usually stick to Bible in a Year by Father Mike Schmitz. Absolutely wonderful. Stick to the official educated people making the interpretation, since they have the background and the skills to properly understand and interpret what they are reading. Because the Bible is what, 77 ancient books written in a different language thousands of years ago. Like, the context required to fully comprehend and understand what you are reading requires, at the bare minimum, a master's degree in theology, right? Like, you need at least that to even fully begin to understand what you are reading. America does need more Jesus. The problem with that statement, I don't disagree with that statement, but the problem with that statement is that we do get more Jesus in America, and it's all people using Jesus for themselves, right? People who use Jesus to make a quick buck. Like Facebook, I don't use TikTok anymore, but I do read like the Facebook Reels and things like that. And I get ads all the time for Christian companies trying to sell things to Christians, because selling things to Christians is an easy way to make money. And it's horribly ridiculous in every single way. There's an app that says lose money the Christian way. It's an app to help you lose weight through Christianity. I've gotten things for clothing. I've gotten things for AI art. I've gotten things for poster boards. Like, they're using Jesus as a means to an end. Some of the most popular TikTok channels are the channels that say, "Stop. Jesus wants you to hear this today, and if you scroll away, Satan wins," right? That's more Jesus, but that's not good Jesus. That's people using Jesus as a hammer to beat other people down and make money off of them, right? Like, so we do need more Jesus, but we need the appropriate form of Jesus. We need educated and knowing what Jesus means, not just more Jesus in general. I agree with people exaggerate things to fit their point of view and miss the bigger picture. Most Americans are blissfully ignorant about our own history. It happened not even 100 years ago. We have people who deny COVID, right? We have people who have lived through COVID that happened 5 years ago who are saying it's not as bad as you remember. There wasn't really any lockdowns. So forget about history 100 years ago. We have people who can't remember history from 5 years ago. So trying to explain history from 2,000 years ago seems like an Olympic task that will never actually happen. So I don't want to harp on people are dumb, people are bad, but that is why when like you go online, you'll see a bunch of people like, "Oh, look, I interpret this phrase to mean this." That doesn't mean a whole lot to me, because I don't put a lot of confidence in people who don't have the degree. And that is where I love this part of the Catholic Church, right? The Catholic Church has this tradition, and they can say with certainty, over the last 2,000 years, this is why X, Y, Z. This is why all these things. And that, to me, really helps me to deepen my faith, because I truly understand that there is 2,000 years to back up what is being said. No, my mushroom! I won the battle, lost the war. Is it possible to only live the spiritual teachings of Christianity and not the religion? I feel as if Buddhism, there's a clear path to separate spiritual from religion. No. That is a very common thing you'll see modern day spiritualists say. In fact, there's a new movement of things called there is a new movement of people called Christian atheists, who are people who said Jesus had good ideas and good teachings, but religion is not important. Therefore, I'm not going to believe in God, and I'm not going to believe in Jesus, but I will follow the teachings that Jesus said, because there is value in the things that Christ taught. But that is impossible to separate it. And the reason why is because one of the number one things that Jesus taught is that he is God. It is not possible to separate Christianity, Jesus, Catholicism, and God. It's simple. They're all intertwined. And a part of that religion is things like going to church. That is things like having a community. Jesus called us to go to church. It is not possible to be a good Christian and not go to church. God commanded us to go to church, so it would become one of these things where we're saying, okay, well, Jesus had some good ideas, and I'm going to live some of those, but I don't like these ones, so I'm not going to follow those teachings. And that once again goes into Protestantism, right? Once we start picking and choosing what we believe in and what we think is good teaching or what is healthy and is not healthy, we have no longer are following Jesus, because it's not possible to take the parts of Jesus we like and separate them from the parts we don't like. It's an all or nothing. And that goes back to if I was a good enough Catholic, I could quote this phrase, because I say it all the time. I believe it's Timothy, but I'm probably wrong. Why do you call me Lord, Lord, but do not do what I say? If you truly believe that Jesus is God, then why would you follow what he says but not do what he says? Jesus says go to church, we go to church. Jesus says love thy neighbor, we love thy neighbor. It's not possible to say, well, he had some good ideas, but I'm not going to follow all of them. It's an all or nothing. Bubble, you have to go. Wish my mother a happy birthday. Good luck, Bubble. Mother-in-laws can be difficult, and mothers can be difficult sometimes, but since we're talking about that, God says love thy parents, right? So we do it. We do that duty. My brain is starting to feel sore. That's how you know it's working, right? That is how you know you're getting a good Waffles experience, is you're feeling grossed out by my horrible opinions, but you're also feeling enlightened by, hey, this guy's breaking this down in a way that's simple and understandable, and I think I could either change my mind or at least grasp the concept. So that's how you know the waffle is working. Alright, so what if we ignore all this and we just go? What if we just run? There's a Bowser there, and there's a guy here, but like, what do we do? Oh, we have to go under. Okay. Come this way, Wiggler. Okay, so we need to keep the shell. You have waffles for breakfast tomorrow? Waffles is always a good decision for breakfast. Increase our death counter. Thank you all for being active and participating in the conversation today. I do appreciate that as well. It is always nice when everyone wants to be a part of the conversation. We're all contributing and making the world a slightly better place. Am I still streaming tomorrow? Yes, we will still be streaming tomorrow as well. Hopefully, so we're gonna stream. She didn't answer. Praise be. We are gonna be streaming a little bit more Helldivers because I want to unlock some Helldivers stuff. But as of Friday, Borderlands 4 is coming out, and I am hoping very, very much that I like Borderlands 4, and I hope that Borderlands 4 is such an enjoyable experience that I slightly become a Borderlands 4 streamer. So hopefully you all enjoy Borderlands 4 as well, because if things go well, I hope to become a Borderlands 4 streamer and super enjoy it and play it for a long time. Because I loved Borderlands 1 and 2, I absolutely loved. Borderlands 3 was so cringy. I super disliked Borderlands 3. So the comedy pushes the line for me. Yeah, and that's Borderlands 3 was really bad about the writing, and they got just super into what is the most cringy and offensive things we can say, and it was shock and potty humor for the sake of shock and potty humor. So I'm hoping that Borderlands 4 will bring us back to good Borderlands, and that we can enjoy that game all together. So I'm hoping for that, but we'll see. We'll see if that actually happens. Just be a Stardew streamer? I don't think I could be a Stardew streamer, unfortunately. I like Stardew Valley, don't get me wrong. I enjoy Stardew Valley, but like, I don't think I could stream Stardew Valley every day, all day, you know? Like, I'm trying to pretend I'm a real gamer. I just don't enjoy it that much. That's part of the problem. That's the whole reason that we were, quote, variety streamer in the first place, right? I get bored easy. I get bored of games way too easy. Like, the only other game I could think of doing, like, seriously and playing a lot of is Slay the Spire. But for some reason, Slay the Spire and Darkest Dungeon just don't stream well. I don't know if it's because, like, there's so much knowledge required to play those games that, like, it's not fun to watch because you don't understand what's going on because you don't have, like, the knowledge to fully understand it. But, like, I don't know. Those games, for whatever reason, didn't stream very well. However, that being said, when Slay the Spire 2 comes out, we will be playing Slay the Spire 2 a whole bunch when that comes out, because Slay the Spire is one of the all-time GOATs. I think Slay the Spire can be really strong and make some good VODs. Every time I slay, and maybe it's just my audience. I'm gonna blame you, chat. I'm gonna blame the audience now. Whenever I streamed Slay the Spire, I just didn't get a whole lot of interactions, not a whole lot of people watching. Like, the games that I get the most people watching are Mario Maker, when I used to play Mario Maker back in the day, Pokemon, and Helldivers. Those are the ones that get, like, the most watches and views. Oh boy, we've got a whole boss fight going on here. Okay, so this isn't really a boss fight since I have unlimited ammo. I guess it just becomes a survival game. I know I'm a true game because I have 150 hours on Subnautica. Maybe my viewers are bigger nerds than yours. Someday I'm going to go back and enjoy Subnautica. I'm waiting to play Subnautica. I'm waiting to play Subnautica in VR because I've heard that Subnautica in VR is like a whole different experience. Like, Subnautica in VR apparently is a whole wild, wonderful experience. So I'm waiting to play Subnautica again in VR. Because I've heard great things about that. And that is true. That is definitely true. Accessibility, everyone knows Pokemon, so it's easy to jump into a Pokemon stream because you know what's going on, right? So I dabbled briefly in Subnautica VR, but I got nausea pretty quick. Understandable. Definitely understandable. You got to get those VR legs. When the game starts spinning around fast and doing things quickly, it very quickly becomes very, very difficult. Let's find another puzzle level in here. We need something that's going to give us more deaths, since apparently I can't look things up right now. Here we go. Puzzle solving boss battle. P. Tony has the nerdiest chat confirmed. My chat is definitely a good balance of everything. I feel like most of the people in my chat stick around to correct my terrible opinions. Okay, I don't feel like that was a very hard puzzle to solve. Maybe I'm just a genius, but that did not feel like very much of a puzzle to solve there. Luigi's Piranha Adventure. Let's go. My little sister got VR when it first came out for Christmas. My brother played it play on Cooking Game. She leaned over the counter that wasn't there and fell through the closet door. Look at that. See, Dex? P-Tony agrees with me. I have the power of Catholicism on my side. But it's because I haven't busted out the truly rancid opinions yet today. That's why you're in agreement, because we haven't gotten into the truly awful things. I'm pondering about your opinions on Christianity. I respect them, however. That is the first step, right? The first step is pondering them and trying to understand them. There's a death. I appreciate that my views on Catholicism and my views in Christianity in general, I am very hard to place. Some people call me a rad trad, which I think is a very wrong label. I'm definitely not a radical traditional in the other way. The rad trads call me a liberal Catholic, and I don't find that to be a fitting label either. I don't like labeling my Catholicism. I consider myself first and foremost just a Catholic, and my job and duty is to be the best Catholic I can and follow the Catholic teaching as best as I can. And I feel like once you start putting labels on it, it becomes a competition, and it becomes people breaking away from things, right? Like we talk about how we don't like how all the Protestants have 50,000 different versions of Protestantism, right? But at what point does Catholicism become the same thing when we go, well, I'm a rad trad Catholic, or I'm a liberal Catholic, or I'm a left-leaning Catholic, or well, once you start putting labels on it, it starts to become breaking away from the whole point of Catholicism. Is the word Catholic was supposed to mean one, universal, right? We're one holy Catholic and apostolic church. We are one united church in everything. And once you start breaking away from it and say, well, I'm this kind of Catholic, or I'm that kind of Catholic, well, now you're breaking away from that, right? Once we start inventing new kinds of Catholics, that's just Protestantism 2.0. And it's definitely the same thing also. This is advice I give people a lot of times when people talk about like paganism, shamanism, and all those sort of things. Anytime you start dealing with someone who's into the New Age, the more titles someone gives themselves, the more likely they are to be full of absolute malarkey. Like when you run into someone who says, "Oh, well, I'm a Reiki master, high priestess, third level, high Satanist," whatever that person says, I guarantee is going to be the absolute nonsense. Because they're just giving themselves so many titles to sound like they're this super fancy, super important, special. The High Priestess one is the one that makes the least sense to me. One, because like that's just a title you're giving yourself, right? Anyone can call themselves a High Priestess, because like kind of like the whole point of paganism is it doesn't have like a universal church, right? Every pagan's a little different and has a different belief. So being a high priestess just means, one, you either went online and paid for money for a degree, or two, your random group just says, yep, you're now a high priest. Boom. Like, it doesn't have a meaning behind it, right? The Radtrads use the liberal label for basically anyone without a frog as their profile pic. There is... I've talked about this as well, right? The whole reason that I have a Crusader helmet that I use occasionally and bust out to make videos is because, like, I don't like all the young rad trads, the 15-year-olds who go online, they put on a Crusader helmet, and they spout nonsense that sounds absolutely horrible and vile. Like, I cannot stand when you have a 15-year-old who makes a meme online about, like, we need another crusade. Like, do you not know how horrific war is? Like, how many people are impacted by it? And when you say we need a crusade against the LGBTQ plus community, like, do you not realize that the least Christian thing you can do is call for the death of somebody else? Like, so I bought a Crusader helmet to try and fight against those stereotypes, but the really young, obnoxious rad trads who are out here calling for crusades and excommunication and death is horrible. It is one of the most horrible things that we are dealing with right now. And it's only exacerbated by on Friday or Saturday, there was a LGBTQ plus pilgrimage to the Vatican where the Pope welcomed them in and talked to them. And they definitely did some things that some Catholics are disagreeing with. And because because they are doing some controversial things, we are going to have the next round of young rad trads who are, and it happened last night. I saw it in real time. We're like, these people are an abomination. These people are disgusting to the church. These people are ruining Catholicism. And like, there's just spewing this absolute hatred in the guise of Christianity. When you say these people, these things are an abomination, you are directly spitting in the face of God. But they don't understand it because they're young and they're dumb. They've been influenced by the ultra rad trad community. But I can't think of anything more disgusting than looking at that someone that you believe that God made that beautiful person and soul, and saying you are an abomination. I could not imagine thinking that of God's creation. Like, how can you say to love God and then go and call his creation an abomination? Like, that just makes no sense to me. All right, we got to time this. We timed poorly. We timed very poorly. There's a rough scene on the online Catholics. Yeah, the radicalized Catholics online is definitely a bad space to be in. That's true for anything, right? When you go to Reddit, you're going to find an echo chamber for anything. You can find the terrible groups who play Warhammer. You can find the terrible D&D players. You can find the terrible My Hero Academia fans. Like, you can find, if you look for it, you can find a terrible community for everything, in which I am now going to state one of those terrible communities. I discovered this weekend that there is a community for making, and I'm quoting this. This is a quote. This is not my words. There is a community for sexy Bionicles. There is a group dedicated to buying the old Lego Bionicle toys and finding a way to turn them into lewd women robots, and then posting the instructions online so that people can have sexy Bionicles. And that is one of those sentences I never in a million years thought I would say, is why in the year 2025 am I having to talk about sexy Bionicles? That is such a weird sentence to say. However, one of the groups that makes weird hacks that I do like is the Furby community. The community who has been working hard to make long, creepy Furbies. Someone yesterday made they made an angel Furby. They have a life-size costume that they can wear that looks like one. You know the meme for biblically accurate angels? It is a biblically accurate Furby, full-size Furby suit. Though there is one that went a little bit worse. There was one Furby maker who went a little heretical, and they call themselves the Furby Pope, and they wear a Furby costume that has a Pope hat, and they go around telling other Furbies what to do as the Pope of Furbdom. That one I don't like very much. But I do appreciate the creativity of the lovers of Furby who have kept the Furby community alive and well. And someday I will be the proud owner of a long Furby, and I will wear it around my neck like a scarf on stream and let it talk to you all. So do be prepared for long Furby streams. Someday I will own a long Furby. Do prepare yourself mentally for that, because the day of long Furby is coming. To top off the long Furby, my next Dungeons & Dragons character is going to be a warlock, a Kenku warlock, because Kenkus are birds, and they are going to have a Furby as their patron. So that will be my next Dungeons & Dragons character. is the Furby Warlock. Alright, this says it's a puzzle solve. Let's try solving some puzzles. We are not getting nearly as many deaths racked up as I thought we were going to get, so we might have to change this to $1 a Mario if I'm not going to get the hard levels anymore. Are we solving a puzzle? Okay, that was not a puzzle. That was not a puzzle to solve. I contest your definition of a puzzle, good sir. Let's look for, okay, popular courses. Let's look for something hard. Let's look for something that says it's hard. Anything that's like a speedrunning level won't be too hard. Technical, no. All right, this one looks brutal. 1% clear rate. Let's lose some Marios. Okay. I'm going to regret saying this, but this doesn't look too hard so far. 1% clear rate is not looking too bad so far. I regret saying that. What's this door over here? Can we go in this door? We cannot go in the door. Okay. I have many regrets. Alright, so I think this spike ball, we have to beat the spike ball before the... Oh! We have to outrun the spike ball all the way down there? I did just jinx myself. That is true. Also, speaking of jinx, I feel like I got Mandela effect because Dex said that Jinx has no evolutions. That Jinx has not received any like updates. They haven't gotten a Galarian Jinx. I feel like Jinx has gotten an evolution before, or a special form, or a Mega, or something. And I looked it up, and it said it's not true. But I feel like Jinx has gotten some sort of update. So is this like a Mandela effect? Does anyone else feel that way? I feel like Jinx has gotten some love. Don't play with me right now. I feel like I've been Mandela'd. I feel like Jinx got a Mega form or a Galatian form or something. And I'm just misremembering it. But you say that there hasn't been anything. Are you confusing it with the recolored Jinx to not be racist? Now, I know that Jinx got a recolor because of blackface. I know that one. But I feel like Jinx got something. I'm pretty sure they got a Galarian form. Is it Galarian, Galatian, Galilei? What is that form? What is that called? Galarian, Galatian, Galapagos, something. Oh, I actually saved myself. There's no Galatian. Is it Galarian? Not Galatian? Can never remember. It's where they made like the Ice Vulpix and the Mr. Mime that looks like Charlie Chaplin, and what form is that called? Galarian. I feel like it's called Galatian because so here's the thing. They made all the Pokemon Ice Pokemon in the Galatian reasons. I feel like Glacier, Galatian, like that makes sense to me. Galarian doesn't make sense to me. Galarian sounds like an Eevee evolution. Like, oh yeah, I gave my Eevee a Galarian stone, and it became a Galarian. Gotta go lurk mode. Thank you for joining, P. Tony. Thanks for hanging out. I will message you later with your Hail Mary debt. Not to be racist or to be more inclusive, which one sounds more opinionated and radical? I'm fairly certain that That was like specifically the language they used. They like when they changed Jinx, they specifically said we are changing this because we feel that Jinx looks racist right now. So granted, this was like back in the 90s, so like the language was different. So I think you are right. The more inclusive sounds like a better way to put it. The Ice Vulpix was the Alolan region? Are you sure? Is that when we got the Ice Sandshrew too? Ooh, I almost got there. Oh, we did it. We didn't do it. To be inclusive of what, purple people? Is this time to bring up the one-eyed, one-eared, flying purple people eater? Which fun waffle fact. Here's your fun waffle fact of the day. One-eyed, one-eared, flying purple people eater was my favorite song as a kid. Followed up by Banana Phone. But the Purple People Eater was my favorite song as a kid. One eyes, one horn, flying purple. I'm pretty sure he has one ear also. I'm confident of that. One-eyed, one-eared, one-horned. He's got one of everything. That's like his whole shtick, is having one of everything and eating people. Gotta get ready for church. Alright, thank you for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Have a good day in church. Have a happy canonization of Saint Carlo Acutis today. Jumped right into the spike. I don't know why I keep doing that. I know it's going to happen. I expect that to happen. I've done that, so why do I keep jumping right into that? There was even a flying purple people eater game that I used to have called Monster Mash. I loved the game. You had a sticky hand. You got this sticky hand, and you would put down these cards that had different monsters on it, and you had this little thingy that you would slap, and it would generate a random monster, and you had to find the monster and then slap it with the sticky hand and collect the card, and you got a point for that. And one of the monsters was a one-horned flying purple people eater. I loved that game. One of my favorite games as a kid. The other favorite game I had as a kid was a game called Splat, which was Candyland, basically. You ran around to the different colors, nothing exciting there. But if you landed on a splat place, your character was made of Play-Doh, and you had to squish them and start over, and I loved squishing them and starting them over. Absolute peak gameplay. I shouldn't have jumped there. I don't know why I jumped there. And there's a new game called Necro Mold that I really want to get, where you make an army of golems out of Play-Doh and you squish them, and it looks like a lot of fun, but it's been sold out since last year, so I don't think I'm ever going to get to play it, but I do wish some of y'all lived closer to me, so we could do board game streams, or Dungeons & Dragons streams, or Warhammer. Anything like that I would love to do with y'all, but Sadly, y'all have to live all the way across the world, so not as doable. Move to my state? Moving is in the cards, but right now, all the spare money is going towards not moving, but we are hoping to do the Italy trip next year. So we are saving for Italy. And hopefully that means next year you all will get a influencer stream straight from the Vatican. And you'll get all the wonderful perks of following an influencer. So, you know, I'll do the streams where it's like, okay guys, ASMR stream because we're at the hotel right now. I want to talk about what we ate, but first, tippy taps for you. You'll get those. You'll get the all the food hauls, all that. Hot take: society burdens itself with overcorrecting. Whenever you give your opinion to an open forum, you're welcome to criticize and be criticized. However, you not set the groundwork. Should I unsubscribe now or wait? That was disgusting. I fully agree, and Americans especially are really good at overcorrecting our mistakes and shooting one side to the other. I mean, Trump is living proof of that, right? People feel like, oh, the world's getting too liberal and too sensitive, so now we're gonna elect Trump so that we can go to the other side of liberal and sensitivity. Like, Trump can directly be traced to people feeling like, oh, the world's getting too PC and too woke, so we're gonna go the opposite direction, and that's how you get Trump. I hate ASMR. I don't mind ASMR. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to listen to ASMR. Like, I'm neutral on it that way. But I cannot stand that every video now starts with some lady running her nails across the cardboard, because that's just become the new ASMR craze. I cannot stand that trend. That one, or like the eating food and smacking your lips for the, oh my god, guys, this food is so good. Those are the two things I cannot stand that ASMR has created. Those two trends that have come out of ASMR is the absolute worst thing to come out of a social media trend in forever. That is another thing. If I'm gonna be a influencer of the Vatican, I've got to work on my influencer Valley Girl voice, right? Like, no one wants to hear Waffles yell at you like this forever, but what if it's like, oh my gosh, we're like at the Vatican right now? Like, is that better? Never do that again. Never do that again. I hate everything on Food Talk right now. Like, this is the Pope. Yes, no, influencer voice. Food Talk is awful, but it has given me some amazing recipes. So I will say Food Talk as a whole is a win for society, because there have been some delicious recipes out there. Influencer voice for one video and that's it. Did you know that if you combine 1 pot of chili in a crock pot, put in onions and tomatoes and cheese, you will have a delicious 1 pot, super easy, super fast, super delicious chili for your whole family? I hate that too. I really hate those videos as well. Especially because they put it as a hack when it's so obviously not a hack. Like, when it's super obvious stuff and they just like, did you know that if you combine flour, water, and sugar in a bread maker, you'll make a loaf of bread. If a recipe starts with, did you know I blocked the creator? Like, okay, if you're making something interesting, like if you're making a new recipe, I will accept the, did you know that if you include a package of hot dogs and a package of pudding, you'll make a delicious Jell-O hot dog pudding. Okay, that's a new recipe. I didn't know that. But if it's literally just a recipe for bread, yeah, I knew that because that's how you make bread, right? Like we don't need all of that. It's the same way, and I know that people are making fun of it because it became annoying, but then it became like an annoying trend where it's like, oh my god, guys, did you know if you plug your phone into the wall, you'll charge your phone? And then you don't have to buy a new one every time the battery runs out. Like, now everyone does videos like that making fun of it, but it's still the same annoying did you know content, right? Like, it only made the problem worse. Now, I will be a part of the problem, and I have to do it for y'all. Did you know if you become a member of Saint Waffles' channel, you will have your username hidden in my videos? That pan flipper? Is that the one who did like the whole, you don't flip your things like this, you take a spatula and you put it on top and then you flip it upside down and that's how you're supposed to flip it? That one? Is that what you're talking about? I'm going to talk about one other thing that I really, another trend I really hate in social media. And it started on Reddit and it's called snark subreddits. And like the one I can think of that like the most popular ones are the Taylor Swift snark subreddit and the Gypsy Rose stark subreddits. Is the concept of a Hail Mary prayer ASMR heresy? That is the only ASMR we'll accept. And these snark subreddits are people who spend their life, their free time, going onto a subreddit to talk about how much they dislike other people who are obsessed with celebrities. And it's like, do you not see you're part of the problem? Like, Gypsy Rose is the one I know the best. People talk way too much about Gypsy Rose. And so because people got tired of people talking about Gypsy Rose, they made a subreddit for talking about how tired you are of hearing people talk about Gypsy Rose. And they just said, like, look at how stupid these people are because they're talking about Gypsy Rose all day. Yeah, but you're talking about hating people talk about Gypsy Rose all day. Like, it's still a part of the problem. Like, why are you spending hours of your free time talking about how much you dislike other people spending too much free time talking about how much they like someone? Like, it's weird. Chaotically Fun Guy's back. Hello, that was a short church service. I have actually considered making a rosary video. A lot of people like listening to the rosary video when they're doing the rosary, like a guided follow along rosary. And a lot of people, and this is a compliment I will never understand, but I will accept it. A lot of people say they do like my voice. They think I have a calming and good voice. So I have considered doing some rosaries to have like a permanent, like you can follow along on the rosary if you want to and hear St. Waffle's voice do it. Because people have asked for it. I don't know why people want to hear more of my voice, but I have considered doing that. I have strongly considered that one. But it's weird because for every person who says they like hearing my voice, you have Dex who talk about getting PTSD because when they hear my voice, it means terrible opinions are coming soon. So, like, it's a weird, I'm going to try and say this word. I'm pretty sure it's the wrong word. Dichoticism? Is that the word? Dichotomy? It's like a dichotomy. No! Well, we almost saved it. Wow, that was embarrassing. This is getting progressively worse. That is what you get. This is for everyone who's ever asked for Waffles to stream longer than an hour. This is what you get when you get onto hour 2 or 3. It gets progressively worse. That is the absolute truth. As seen here. We might break 1,000 Hail Marys. That is a lot of Hail Marys. Bubble, how many Hail Marys are you going to do? I know you said you'd be interested in taking a few. Peter said he would take a few. Mel said she would take a few. Dex said no, he will not take any. So I'm going to need some help for some people taking some Hail Marys. This is actually kind of a fun level, though. I will say that I'm enjoying this level. Like, it's well put together. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. Like, this is a very well-made level. You know what other social media trend I really hate? Since we're on the topic of social media ruining thing, I understand that everyone wants to make money right now. I understand why everyone wants to make money because, well, the world's hard. Getting money is hard. Having more money makes the world easy. I get it. I don't like that everyone's solution is to sell courses on how to use AI to make a faceless YouTube or TikTok channel where you set up an AI to create 100 shorts a day and then it just spams those shorts and you'll get views and that will make you passive income. Because in theory it works. But when you have thousands of people flooding thousands of AI videos onto YouTube, TikTok, and all that, we're basically flooding the market with garbage. And at a certain point, you're not going to be able to find anything but those garbage videos, right? Like, the market is flooded with those faceless AI videos. So that is a wholly a problem that we are going to face. Is that the water is going to be polluted. Calling your own opinions terrible sounds like a great way to shield oneself from criticism and accountability due to the fact they're terrible to begin with. It is, however, a great way to get. Are you going to say views or rage bait? People interact with? Yeah, so rage baiting is effective. That is absolutely true. But I always clarify, I am not rage baiting. My purpose is not rage baiting, and I do not shield myself from criticism. Everyone is free to criticize my opinions. The reason why I call my opinions terrible is because every person, and Dex can definitely vouch for this, every person who joins my stream at some point tells me that I have absolutely garbage opinions. So I've just come to accept that I have terrible opinions. So I am not a rage baiter. I do not say things for the sake of getting views and interaction. I truly stand by and believe everything that I say. When I say The Legend of Zelda is an overrated game, I truly believe that. I'm not saying that just because it's a popular game that I know that people like. I truly believe The Legend of Zelda Nintendo 64 version Ocarina of Time is not the greatest game. And there are people who stand by this, the greatest game ever made. And I do not abide by that opinion. In the same way people will tell you, like, One Piece, great anime? No. And One Piece, worst anime ever made. You're playing Torque right now? Torok? Like Torok the dinosaur game? Or is that supposed to be Legend of Zelda? Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. When I say the Beatles are one of the most overrated bands in history, I don't mean that in a way that they're not influential. I mean that their music by modern standards is nigh unlistenable. Like, it's so boring. They did a lot for music, but there's no reason in 2025 to listen to the Beatles now. I just truly believe that. Speaking of music, though, I did find I found an Irish Catholic guy on the Catholic forums who's looking to raise $300 to make a music video for his Catholic rap. And his Catholic rap, as the young people say, is lit, yo, or is fire. Like, it's not something you would often see, but Catholic rap actually kind of slaps, no lie. There's a few songs from the Beatles I enjoy. I won't judge you for that, fun guy, but I cannot find a single Beatles song that I can enjoy. And to make it worse, when we were on a field trip, my music teacher loved the Beatles, and All Across the Universe just came out, that movie where it was supposed to be like one giant music video for the Beatles, and he made us watch that on the bus while we were riding somewhere. That was torture. I personally enjoy AC/DC more. I don't hold anything against AC/DC. They have some good songs. But I feel like all their songs sound the same. Like TNT, Dirty Deeds for Done Dirt Cheap. I feel like every AC/DC song is basically the same thing with a few different lyrics. Like, I don't know. I like them, but they have like 4 good songs and they all sound the same. So they basically have one good song. Catholic rap instead of Saran wrap, it's anti-Satan rap. You know who I used to love Metallica. Back in the day, I was a huge Metallica fanboy, but I've really grown out of love with Metallica. Like, there's still some good songs there, but they're no longer my favorite band. And then, so there's another terrible opinion for you. I think Metallica's best. Objectively, I believe that Metallica's best song and album is Saint Anger. I think Saint Anger is their most creative, artistic work, and thus, because it has so much heart and soul in it, it is by far their best album. Using adjectives such as terrible, garbage in response to your opinions without further reasoning is neither helpful or carries any meaning. It's so lazy. What would you like me to elaborate on, Tofu? I'm always open to elaboration. But I know that most people despise that song and that album, but Saint Anger truly is, I think, their greatest work. Like, I know Enter Sandman's popular, and it's a good song, don't get me wrong. Enter Sandman is a good song. But Saint Anger is just so raw. I know people hate the drums, but I really like the snare drums in it too, so... Why can I not... I've gotten past this part like 10 times. Why am I stuck on this now? I'm getting worse. What's that meme? It's like he's evolving, but backwards? That's... I feel like we're losing progress at this point. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Gently bounce. Shouldn't have jumped. I should have trusted myself to run right off the edge. I did not trust in myself. Okay, run, jump, jump. We can take this slow. I thought we had to race that, but we don't. We can take this slow. There we go. Little jump. There we go. And we slide off the edge. I'm going to blame the controller on that one. One more life and we have to update the counter again. Wow, we went too fast that time. I've never gone too fast before. I'm listening to you, Waffles. It fires my brain neurons. Even if I'm typing out a comment, it might take you 5 minutes. That's all right. Take all the time. We have all the time today. We are streaming extra long today for St. Carlo Acutis. Racking up some charity, some good works. A lot of Hail Marys. A lot of dead Marios. I'm the thinking man stream. Just not right now, because I've run out of topics. I've never streamed this long before. We've run out of things to say. Alright, I feel like we've got that part down pretty good. We're making progress. Here we go. Now, we don't want to run up into the things, but we do... Okay, I got that once. And now I'm struggling. I can't figure out what I did the first time that worked so well on that, and now it's not working. Alright, we gotta slow down here so we don't hit ourselves on the thing. Hit ourselves on the other thing. Sometimes all it takes is an emoji. That is true. Dex very often sends me that emoji. In fact, you know, if this was Twitch, you could have custom emojis, but YouTube doesn't really allow custom emojis. I do think you can get custom stuff if I make them for members, but I don't want to be like, hey, if you want to tell me how much you hate my opinions, you have to subscribe and pay me $1. You know, I don't like that. I hit him with the... What is that emoji anyways? Is that the Pac-Man ghost? Is that the, I can't... Is that what that ghost is? Is that the Pinky from Pac-Man, or is that supposed to be something else? Oh, the Pinky, Blinky... Can't remember the other two. Speaking of arcade games, you know what arcade game I've been really feeling, and I'm debating whether or not I actually want to invest in like an arcade cabinet to play it again? I love Bubble Bobble. I've been really feeling a Bubble Bobble game lately. The old Bubble Bobble 1 and Bubble Bobble 2. It's also the most fun game name to say in the world. Bubble Bobble is just like the most satisfying game name. I've been really feeling Bubble Bobble again. Maybe I should go play that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. Clearly I'm doing a lot wrong because there's a lot of deaths there, but I don't know why it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I can see why this level has a 1% win rate right now, though. Definitely a well-earned 1%. I would like a checkpoint at some point, please. I could really use a checkpoint. All right, so do we just run? Is that the key to this? To just run over the ramp? Is that what it wants us to do? I don't know why shiny Drillbur is so hard to find. I don't know much about shinies, so this is gonna probably make me look dumb. But doesn't it depend on like the version you're playing? Like, don't some games have way higher shiny odds than others? So can't you, if you switch the game to a different one, won't you have a higher chance for a shiny? Let's look for some more. I like the puzzle solving levels. Here we go, puzzle solving. Oh, it's a spot the difference. That's fun. All right, team. Spot the difference. The middle has a different colored mushroom. Oh, that's just like the tutorial. That's just telling us what we're looking for. Okay. Both got arrows. They both got coins. I feel like this mushroom is moving differently. I did a sandwich for shiny Haldean Wooper, and I only found 3, but gosh, what's a sandwich? What do you mean? I want to say it's this one. Okay, I was right. The mushroom is different. Alright, this one has a coin in the middle. Oh, you have to, I see. You have to collect the... I didn't collect the coins. Okay. I messed up already. So you have to collect the 10 coin or else you lose. So, middle. If we can jump. Holy cow, that's embarrassing. Collect the 10 coin. This mushroom is different. Collect the 10 coin. This one has a coin in the center. 10 coin. I don't know. All these look the same. What am I missing? Oh, the spring's on its side on this one. The fact that you didn't beat Scarlet and Violet... I beat Scarlet and Violet. I have completed Scarlet and Violet. I've never beaten the Nuzlocke for Scarlet and Violet. But I have beaten Scarlet and Violet. Alright. Mushrooms, fire flowers, coin blocks, moving coins. Down arrows. I don't see it on this one. Everything's moving the same speed. Oh, wait. I think I see it. There's 2 coins on this one. Okay. That was fun. That was a fun little level. That was a fun break from the Mario slaughter. 10-10 platforming. Okay. Here comes the death. I am terrible at platforming. Oh, this is... I can already tell this is way beyond my skill level. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this. So we need to stand at the back and run and jump onto the spring. Or just run right into the lava. Get the death over faster, I guess. That was closer, maybe? Okay, so the spring doesn't melt in the lava, so that is good. Okay, I kind of accidentally did some of that. I got farther than I thought I would because I kind of lucked out into these things. So hit that, jump over here, run over here, jump on this platform, come over here, jump on the Buzzy Beetle. Do I need to jump? I need to jump to make the thwomp go off, but then I need to jump over to the claw? Alright, that was too fast. I think my Hail Mary counter is off. I think I'm mathing poorly. I think that should be at 8. No? 800? Okay, so no, we don't have to jump because the thwomp automatically goes off. So we just need to jump to the claw. The claw. We jumped too good. Jumped too good. I would like your opinion on another hot take you have. Yes. Let's hear the hot take. What you got? It's too fast. I think this should be 8:15. I'll double check this when I'm done, but I think 8:15 is supposed to be correct there. Someone check my math. What's 175 times 5? Alright, what do we got here? We've got... We can't land on the spiny. Wow, we might actually be able to beat this level. I know I'm going to regret saying that, but I think we might be able to beat this level. Okay, we have to be fast there. Gotta go fast. That was embarrassing. Gamer sense, go! Alright, we got this, we got this. We don't got this. One more and the counter goes up again. Boop, boop. That should be 8:30, I believe. Alright, 1 second. I gotta go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Hope you enjoyed the interlude. We should be at 875, so we should be at 900. We should be at 900 Hail Marys right now, right? Because 200 times 5 is 1,000, so yeah, we need to be at 900 Hail Marys. Okay. A tofu. Religious belief systems hinder us to overcome cultural differences. I mean, that's definitely true, I think, in a lot of ways, because you have, like, right now there's a lot of talk, like, in Europe of refugees coming with certain religious systems that make it hard for them to assimilate into the current culture. So I think that is factually correct in a lot of ways, but it's also important, I think, to note on that religion is more important than cultural stuff. And I know that's going to sound awful, but I will clarify. When we're talking about Catholicism specifically, with Catholicism, it is the way, the truth, and life. It is the way into heaven. It is the way to please God. So if a religion is at odds with a culture, then the religion should prevail, because that religion, specifically when we're talking about Catholicism, is objectively the truth, and therefore that's the one we should go with, right? And we see that all the time. We have that exact debate in America, right? A lot of things that are very popular in America culturally go against Catholicism, and so they're at odds with each other. But since Catholicism is the correctness and the truth, we should disregard the cultural truth and instead accept the religious truth, since in this case it is the correct choice. The game music played with your music, so it was a remix. So fun fact, some of you know this, that is not my music. That song that I play at my ending prayer and all that, that song was made by Father Robert Nixon? Yeah, Father Robert Nixon of the New Norcia Abbey. He is a priest and a monk in Australia, and he makes music, and I got his permission to use his music for my videos, one Catholic to another, which was excellent. So it's really cool to meet a priest who makes music who said, I like your Catholic stream enough, I will allow you to use my music with your Catholic stream to help reach Catholics. So check him out on YouTube. He makes a bunch of different music. Father Robert Nixon of the New Norcia Abbey, located in Australia. Really awesome guy. That's a hot take if I ever heard one. You know, Jesus said we would be hated for what we say, and if we follow him, but that is the truth. If Jesus says to do one thing and a culture says to do another, Jesus is correct 100 times out of 100 on that one. So we actually beat a slightly difficult platforming level. Can you believe it? There's also, we'll talk about, like, cultural Catholicism is a very bad thing as well, where people don't believe in Catholicism, but they do a couple things because their culture does it. And like a big example that is really big in parts of Mexico is San Muerte, Saint Death. Remember your death, which is kind of like what's it called? Memento Mori, but it's become like an actual, like, worship this saint who is not a saint in this idea that is not a Catholic idea, and they've turned cultural Catholicism into its own bad take on the religion. So there can be bad cultural Catholic stuff too, but in general, I will always side with Christianity over culture. In the same way that, like, morality, when we talk about morality, this is always a hot take too. Morality is objective. Morals are objective, and that is why we need God. You'll have lots of atheists who will say, well, I'm still a good person. Okay, by whose standards? Say, well, the big one is, like, women's reproductive rights, right? Like, I support women having a right to choose, so I'm a good person. Okay, that makes you a good person by the standards of our society, but by God, that is not a good standard. So which is correct? When you're talking about morality, there has to be an objective truth. And we talk about, like, throughout history, there have been societies that think it's appropriate to eat people. Is that morally a good thing? Well, of course not. But why not? We as a society have deemed that eating people is bad, but if your morals are subjective, then there is nothing morally correct. Therefore, a morality system must be objectively based, and therefore, that's why you need God, because God has given us objective morals. He tells us objectively what is correct and what is not correct. Otherwise, it's just whatever your society says. And as I just said, society is flawed, right? Society can be very, very flawed in what they believe. So there's no point in hanging on to that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And that's why there's a lot of people who say, like, well, can I be a good person without God? No. You can definitely do good things and take good actions, but you are going to, at some point, do something that would be displeasing to God that you think makes you a good person, but it doesn't, because good person is an objective fact based through the moral lens of Christianity. You can still do good things, and Christians can still be do bad things. We've seen plenty of people who are bad people, even though they're Christians, right? It's not some magic wand that, oh, I'm Christian, therefore I'm a good person. Like, it clearly doesn't work that way, and we have a problem with that in our society. Okay, I was gonna say we're doing it, but we're not. We're not. Putting Catholicism over someone's culture, stating as a fact that your viewpoint is right, is gatekeeping at its finest, though. If you're right, others are always in the wrong. I mean, that's objective truth. Catholicism is objectively true. Everything else has a piece of the truth. There can be beauty and truth in all religions, but the only thing that has the full objective truth is Catholicism. There is no possible way that someone's culture could have a truth greater than Catholicism, because one is man-made and one is made by God. And that's a fundamental belief of Christianity, right? If you, as a Christian, believe that man-made morals or man-made culture can be better than God or above God, then that is directly contradictory to what Jesus told us, right? So, oh! I almost had that one. That is such a tough first jump. That's radical. Is it radical? I mean, that's literally what God teaches us, right? Jesus says, I am the way, I am the life, I am the truth. Follow me and you'll have eternal life. So either what Jesus says is true or it's not. If it's not true, then there's no point to Christianity or Catholicism at all. If it is true, then he is the only truth, the only way, and the only life. Then nothing else matters except for what Jesus says. It's one or the other. It's a binary choice. One has to be true, one has to be false. There can't be a middle ground. Oh, that was such a poor jump. Catholicism is always LOL. He came to put mother against daughter, father against son, etc., etc. That's the point. That is a particular biblical quote that, yes, I will put mother against daughter, father against son. But that is, and specifically my understanding is the context of that is in that there will be people who are Catholic and people who are not Catholic. And that will set them against each other because, and this was a very hard thing that my wife and I went through. God asks you to put God first. So, a good Christian, a good Catholic, should say, like, what is the most important thing to you? God should come before your spouse. And that again, is another radical opinion that is really, really hard to take, but that is the absolute truth. Marriage is temporary. Our relationships on earth is temporary. Our relationship with God is forever. All that matters is pleasing God and getting to heaven. And so you'll have a lot of Christians like, well, my wife's the most important thing, but God is, a close second. No, that is incorrect. God must come first. Always. And that's a very difficult, but again, it shouldn't be a radical opinion because that's literally what God teaches. That's not radical Christianity. That is just Christianity. Anything else is watered down Christianity. In the same way, it's a very hard concept for a lot of people. There is no marriage in heaven, right? God made that clear. Marriage ends on earth at death because you will not be married in heaven. And that's a very hard concept, I think, for a lot of people. If Jesus ever comes back to life and does an AMA, I might get on board. However, I don't and cannot trust a holy boom that has been delivered over centuries, rewritten, interpreted. That's why you have to have the Catholic Church. And that's why I go back to like talking about the Protestants, right? Like if people start interpreting things for themselves and doing their own revisions and all that, then yes, it is going to become flawed and it is going to become a problem. The only way you can trust in the truth of it is if there has been a central power authority that has the truth and teaches the truth. What game is this? This is Super Mario Maker. This is Super Mario Maker 2. We are doing a Carlo Acutis day. Every death means money given to charity and Hail Marys owed. So we are doing Super Mario Maker and specifically doing difficult levels to increase the Mario loss counter on the bottom, which increases the money to charity, which increases the money owed. Right now, we have died 200 times. I'm going to change this, I think. Originally, we were doing 10 cents per Mario death. So right now, it's only $20 to charity. I think I'm going to increase it maybe to $1 per Mario death. That will have $200 to charity and 1,000 Mario or Hail Marys owed. So if you have a Mario level that is difficult, I will play it. One of the things that God promises us as Catholics is he promises that the underworld, that Satan will never prevail against the Catholic Church. So yes, man may be flawed. Yes, man may at times do things wrong, say things wrong, teach things wrong. However, one of his promises is the Catholic Church will not fall. Therefore, we can trust in what the Catholic Church tells us and does for us because we have a promise from God that it will never fail. So that is one of those things that you have to take on faith. And that's another hard concept for a lot of people, right? Trusting in blind faith in things is a very difficult skill to learn, but necessary. All right, I'm getting better. I'm getting better at this. Boop, boop, boop. Big jump. 2 more deaths. The timing on that is so tough. I'm really bad at the timing on that. I got that one down. This timing I still do not have down. All right, that's 205. Or 1,025 Hail Marys owed. Doesn't even have to be blind faith. If you look into all the miracles and evidence surrounding Catholicism and Jesus and other biblical stories, I don't disagree with that, but I do have troubles recommending that because like Sean McAfee, he's going to be writing a book here soon, another Catholic. He's called This Catholic on Twitch. Sean McAfee and I were talking about Eucharistic miracles, and it's even better to talk about Eucharistic miracles because it relates to Carlo Acutis. Carlo Acutis created a website to document all the Eucharistic miracles that he could. And there are a lot of Eucharistic miracles to talk about, but the evidence behind some of the Eucharistic miracles, I do believe is spotty at best. And I do believe that there are some fake Eucharistic miracles out there. And so it's really hard to tell people to put their faith in those miracles when not all the miracles, I think, have been properly vetted 100%. And that would just be fuel on the fire for people to disagree with Catholicism if they look into a miracle and find that that miracle is spotty. So I agree with the miracles, and I think they're beautiful. I think they're wonderful. I think they're worth talking about, but I have a hard time recommending them because I haven't done enough research on miracles to be able to recommend. This is one that I 100% agree with as being a 100% confirmed miracle. Like the Shroud of Turin is talked about a lot, and there's a lot of debate whether or not that is fake, whether or not the studies that were done on it were tainted studies, and so I just don't know enough to properly endorse it. And one of the things that I stand firm with on my channel is when I don't know enough about a topic, I don't touch it with a 10-foot pole, because I am not afraid to admit when I don't know enough. One central power, one ruler, one truth is always at some point going to be corrupted. I don't disagree with that, but the Pope doesn't have absolute power. Like that is a common misconception. The Pope can speak ex cathedra. The Pope can make binding things because the Pope was given that power. We see that Jesus gave that power to the first Pope. What you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and what you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. He has the power to do that. It doesn't mean he uses it. What about factual evidence such as the Ark, the Shroud? So the Shroud is a specific example I use because I've seen a lot of contradictory stuff to it, but I've never done a deep dive enough into it that I will say, yes, this is factually true or not, because I just haven't done a research enough to know that. Same thing with the Ark. Every time I've seen a video about like the Ark has been found, it's always like AI stuff, and I can't say that I know that to be true for a fact. So, same thing with Noah's Ark. Like, I've seen a bunch of videos about Noah's Ark being found, but I've never believed any of them. So I need to actually sit down and do the research into it to be able to say with confidence what I see is what I believe, you know? Even Catholics don't understand the Pope doesn't have that much power, right? You see all these Catholics who are like, oh, Pope Francis was going to ruin the faith. He's going to make all these sweeping changes. Like, the Pope can influence things. The Pope can make changes. But the Pope doesn't have enough power. I don't think he could really do that much damage. We've had some terrible popes, too. Like, look into the history of popes. We've had terrible popes. We had a pope, one of the most famous examples of terrible pope. We had a pope who dug up the previous pope, put his corpse on trial, found him guilty of heresy, and then had his grave and body defiled. That's a bad pope. Did he ruin the faith? No. Did he make bad decisions? Probably. But the faith remains. The faith stands. The faith fights. That being said, I hope I am never a pope. I do not want the burden. I do not think I would ever be the right choice for Pope. I don't think I'm ever in the running for Pope, but I hope I am never Pope. Wouldn't the Pope call out such evidence if it's true? Potentially. I mean, the Pope's a busy guy, right? Like, but he does declare miracle. Like, the whole reason why Carlo Acutis was canonized is because that is the Pope going out today. He already did it. The Pope went out and said, we are canonizing Carlo Acutis because we have confirmed, researched, and say that these miracles are miracles that Carlo Acutis interceded on behalf of God. So yes, the Pope would call it out if there's truth, but also there's so much going on in the world that I don't know that the Pope is always the most up to date on these things, right? If there's new science going on like the Shroud, for example, the Pope might not be aware of it. The Pope is kind of, forgive me, Holy Father, the Pope is kind of old and not always, the most technologically known individual out there. So it's possible those sort of things aren't brought before the Pope in a timely manner, right? Like, the Pope has other stuff he's got to be poping. I don't know what the Pope does all day, but I know he does a lot. I know he starts his day with Wordle. That is definitely one of the things we talked about. We have a gamer Pope right now. If you consider things like Wordle to be gaming, which I do, then we have a gamer Pope in the Vatican currently, which is a great thing. We have our gamer saint, we have our gamer Pope. And I absolutely adore Pope Leo. I think Pope Leo and Pope Francis are some of the best things that came to the faith. Can I do this? Can I make up for falling in the water? I don't think I can. No, I can't. We're close, though. We're close. Grind out the new HG2 War Bond. I still need to grind on the new War Bond. I am behind on the War Bond. Very much behind on the War Bond. I still need to make a video, too. It's been a while since I made a Helldivers video. It's time to make a video and hide all your names in the membership list. Since that is, by being a member, your name gets recorded in each of my videos I publish and hidden somewhere as a little thing to go find in the video as a fun little thank you for being a member. Okay. How do we do this? How do we do this? We have to Z down on the guy and then go over to the on-off? Like, just... That was embarrassing. That was real embarrassing. That's a fun little Easter egg. I thought it would be fun to... That's the membership perk. For $1, you're a member, and your name gets hidden in my videos. So when you go watch the regular videos, you might find your name hidden somewhere as like a little hide and seek. You know, I don't... A Tofu gave 20 memberships, though. So I anticipated hiding like 1 or 2 names. I don't know how I'm going to hide 20 names, but I'm a man of my word, if nothing else, right? So we gotta find a way to hide 20 names in my next video. 21 names, actually, so... Alright, I think we've probably lost enough Marios here, honestly. I probably am a little behind on that, so let's... We broke 1,000 Hail Marys owed, so... Did you ever check out Kronos after I mentioned on stream? I do not believe I've checked out Kronos. I did check out... Someone mentioned... I mentioned the... Someone mentioned... What is it? No, not No Man's Sky. Star Citizen. I checked out Star Citizen after someone brought that one up. But, I did not like Star Citizen. I was not a big fan of Star Citizen. Go figure. You can only adore God, but he said he adored the Pope. So that's one of those things where words have different meanings. The adoration for God is different than the adoration of the Pope. Those are different words with different meanings. Yeah, that's I did say I adore the Pope, but I'm not saying I go to adoration to adore the Pope in that way. I'm using it as a colloquial term for, like, I really like Pope Leo. I think he is an adorable and, like, he's a cute old man in that way that you, like, your grandpa is adorable. So the words have different meanings, but words are important, so I understand where you're coming from. It is a stream, Abyss Walker. We are doing a special Sunday stream. I don't usually stream on Sundays, but today, Blessed Carlo Acutis was made Saint Carlo Acutis. So we're playing Mario in honor of that and raising some money and prayers to be thankful for a new saint who has been confirmed to be in heaven. Right now, we have lost 225 Marios. We owe... I'm going to change it. We're doing $1. We owe 230... $230 to charity and 1,125 Hail Marys. My grandpa's anything but adorable. He's like the Doomslayer. My grandfather, before he passed, God rest his soul, was also a very tough man that I would not use the word adorable for, but Emily's grandparents, I would use the word adorable for him. He is a very adorable old man. Okay. So, I think I'm messing up. I don't think I'm supposed to... I think I have to press Z on the last jump to keep the momentum to Z jump over there. I don't think I'm going to be able to Z jump over there. Thank you so much, A2. $5. Thank you for keeping with comments, staying true to yourself, and being respectful over disagreements. Those are the goals I've always had since day one of being a streamer, is to be true to myself, to be true to God, and have a good time. In fact, the reason, here's the Saint Waffles lore. The reason why I named myself Saint Waffles for my stream is not that I believe that I am a saint. It is not because I'm so egotistical to think that I am that great. Rather, it exists because I want it to be a reminder that in everything I do, in everything I say, my goal is to become a saint and to bring all of you to heaven with me. Therefore, by calling myself Saint Waffles, every time I reply to someone, every time I reply to something online, every time I say something, every time I do anything, I am first reminded, first and foremost, I am called to be a saint, and therefore every action, everything I say, everything I do should reflect my calling and all of your callings to go to heaven and be in the presence of our Lord and Savior forevermore. That is why I'm Saint Waffles. Not because I think I am a saint, but because I want to become a saint, and thus I need to remind myself in all that I say and do that I must be good. Saint Jerome used to beat himself in the chest with a skull to remind himself not to be angry at people. This is my version of that because I'm not allowed to hit myself with a skull. When I first started into Catholicism, I did think I was going to be one of those radical Catholics who used like the whip to flagellate yourself. I am not one of those Catholics. I've been recovering from a fever just in time for Silksong. I've been playing the heck out. I have nearly 20 hours unlocked. Abyss Walker. Congratulations. As always, you've unlocked the unpopular opinion of the day. Hollow Knight was a good game, but I don't think Hollow Knight was that good of a game. And the hype around Silksong, I think, is a little overhyped. Like, it's a good game, but it's just a side-scrolling platformer. Like, it's nothing that special. The hype for Silksong is way overblown. Let me enjoy Silksong. I'm not saying don't enjoy it. I'm saying it's kind of overhyped. It's just a side-scroller. Like, it's just another side-scrolling Metrovania. There's a million of those. It might be good, but it's nothing that deserves the massive hype that it's had. So there's your unpopular Waffles opinion of the day. I hope both sides of your pillow are warm tonight. I maybe should be ashamed to admit this. I invested in a special expensive pillow that has cooling technology put into it, so my pillow is never warm because I have a cooling pillow and it was worth every penny I paid for it. I highly suggest buying a cooling technology pillow. It is a life-changing event. I hope your socks get wet. Fun waffle fact, I don't wear socks. Back when I first became Catholic, first did Lent, I wanted to become one of those Catholics who walks barefoot everywhere. And then I got afraid of getting a needle or a nail through the foot. So flip-flops are my compromise. I wear flip-flops even in the pouring rain and snow. I typically wear flip-flops because I try and have a little penance, a little discomfort in my day to remind me of the sacrifice of Jesus. So I don't wear socks. I enjoy the platforming of Silksong quite a bit, but I posted a TikTok critiquing how Silksong treats religious themes and comments weren't happy about that. No, anytime you try and mix gaming and Catholicism, you're going to get unhappy people. That is absolutely true. I don't even have a goofy thing to see anymore. The heck, man. In the Bible, Moses is told to remove his sandals and socks because he stands on holy ground. So a lot of Catholics take that as a challenge to not wear shoes. So you just got your dogs out talking all this nonsense and flexing cold pillows. I do have my dog. I have my bare, dirty, dusty feet out right now. I think the hype around Silksong is also due to the massive amount of love and care the developers poured into it. Team Cherry is the one that brought up religion. They made rosaries one of their currencies, and that's an oof. There's been a lot of rosaries in games, interestingly enough. You have rosaries in Silk Songs. You have rosary in Red Dead Redemption. You have a rosary in the new Mafia game. You have a rosary in Blasphemous. We've had quite a lot of rosaries in games lately. I'm pretty sure there's a rosary in Castlevania. There's a lot of rosaries. Okay, so I think I need to use Z jump in general here is what it's trying to tell me, is I need to start that entire section with Z jumping. Someone do the math. What's 240 times 5? Okay, Google. What's 240 times 5? We're way behind. Up, up, up and away. 1,200 Hail Marys owed and counting. Many religions use rosaries, including religions I'm somewhat a part of. I don't see anything wrong with that. Well, I mean, they don't use rosaries, I don't believe, right? Like, there's a lot of religions that have, like, beads and knots, but I'm pretty sure rosary is a pretty exclusive term to Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy, right? Like, there may be holy beads or holy ropes or different things like that, but I believe rosary in particular is very much associated with Catholicism. I think. Because I know, ironically, the pagans, especially the Neo-Norse pagans, there's a big community of Neo-Norse pagans that are trying to take rosaries and repurpose rosaries into holy beads for Thor and Odin. There's a big movement for that. But that's not a tradition of that religion. That is the Neo-Norse pagans taking something from our religion and then trying to put it into their religion. But other religions, I don't know. I don't know much about. I can't be educated on every religion in the world. But I'm pretty sure they don't call them rosaries. At the very least, I'm pretty sure they just call it like holy beads or things like that. I could be wrong. Many religions use prayer beads. Rosary is a Catholic word. Sometimes people use the word rosary loosely to refer to other prayer beads by them. But frankly, I don't like that. It's kind of like I'm going to do an Invader Zim quote here, right? Invader Zim. Do you remember that episode of Invader Zim where they could win adhesive medical strips? Because the word Band-Aid is a Band-Aid is a brand. That is not what it's called, but because it became so like colloquially known as a Band-Aid that everyone calls Band-Aids Band-Aids, but they're actually adhesive medical strips. It's the same thing, right? Everyone sees prayer beads and like, oh, that's a rosary, because the rosary has become so synonymous with prayer bead that it's the name brand version being turned into everything. In the same way, like tissues are called a Kleenex when they're not. They're a tissue. Kleenex is a brand. Personally, I think they just called them rosaries because prayer beads would have been a mouthful. It's like how the term cathedral, chapel are used in games. Yeah, that's exactly what I think happened. Is that they took the name brand and attributed it to the off brand. If I can say, probably an offensive way of putting that. But I do love that Invader Zim episode. That's the one with Poop Dog, where he's trying to raise money to find out what the secret of Poop Dog is, and it's a tuna can that can destroy the world. And Miss Bitters does the adhesive medical strips. One of my personal favorites. If you haven't watched Invader Zim, go watch Invader Zim. Invader Zim is the second best cartoon to ever come onto Nickelodeon. The first best being, and this is an undisputable fact, I feel, Avatar: The Last Airbender is by far the best cartoon to ever come out of Cartoon Network. And even though Avatar: The Air, I do someday I want to do this. I want to do a deep dive into Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I know that everyone's already done. I know there's a million videos. I want to do one of those things where we like watch an episode. I don't want to call it a reaction because I don't want to do a Waffles reacts. I don't want to make reaction content. But I would love to watch an Avatar: The Last Airbender episode, like on a video, and talk about it. Talk about all the brilliant things of the writing. Talk about the religion. Talk about Catholicism versus the world they built. I feel like there's so much to talk about. The question I ask myself, though, is every time I go to do that, is do I have enough interesting things to say about Avatar: The Last Airbender that I should be adding my voice to the chorus of people that have made Avatar: The Last Airbender videos? And I just don't know that I have enough to say about it that I should do it, but I've wanted to. I also want to do that with My Hero Academia, but every time I post a My Hero Academia video on YouTube, I get hit with a, hey, this is copyrighted content, you're not allowed to post it, and then I can't post anything. So I don't know how people do that, but I'd like to do it with My Hero Academia too, because there is a bunch of religion we could talk about in My Hero Academia, and just a bunch of cool little fun facts about it that I would love to do someday. There's a Magic the Gathering Secret Lair crossover. I will never play Magic the Gathering again. But if I was to play Magic the Gathering, there are 2 sets that would get me to play Magic the Gathering again. The first is playing a Magic the Gathering Avatar: The Last Airbender set. That would definitely be one that would draw me back in. And My Little Pony. Fun fact about Waffles. Waffles loves My Little Pony. And if I could play a Pinkie Pie Magic the Gathering deck and smoke some people using a Pinkie Pie deck, I would get great pleasure from that. So those are the 2 things that could potentially draw me back into Magic the Gathering. My old zoology teacher somehow made biomolecules interesting. I have no idea what that means, but I sounds like an interesting topic. I would give it a try. Because Avatar: The Last Airbender is such a good show with so much good stuff to talk about, brilliant writing. There's so much good stuff in there. But I also know there's a lot of Catholics who will never watch it because they immediately see the influences of other religions on it and don't want to associate with that. And I get it. I especially understand like parents who don't want their kids to watch it and be influenced, because it would be cool, right? You watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you're young and impressionable, like, oh, if I believe in chi and unblocking that, I can shoot fire. Like, I can understand why kids would be like, hey, I want to be that. Let me tell you, biomolecules is an absolute and utter nightmare. It's just memorizing extreme details about carbs, proteins, lipids, amino acids, and enzymes. That does sound horrible. You no joke. You are accurate on that. So there's no way I can make this jump over this with... Yeah, the spin jump can't make it over that. So how am I supposed to make that jump? I just don't understand how I'm supposed to do that jump. It's the biology equivalent of jumping into a burning house while doused in kerosene and bitten by fire ants. I stepped on a fire ant's nest when I was in Georgia, and let me tell you, that is a horrible experience. I definitely don't want anyone to ever step on a fire ant's nest. That was something terrible. I don't think we're going to get this level, guys. I think we have to admit defeat on this one. And my back's starting to hurt, so I think I'm about at my limit for how much I can stream today. I think I got to get up for a little bit here soon, so this might be the end. We might have reached our limit. Even I'm heading out now. All right, Abyss. Well, thank you for coming in, and thank you specifically for bringing up Silk Song so I can talk about how overrated I think that it is. You got squeezed one last bad opinion out of Waffles today, so congratulations. All right, one more. Let's even this up. One more. Okay. That's a nice even number to remember. The grand total for my 3.5 hour Carlo Acutis stream. 260 Mario deaths, $260 we will donate to Carlo Acutis charity. 1,300 Hail Marys that need to be said. I think we did pretty good for today. I'm very happy with those numbers. So I will be divvying out some Hail Marys to everyone who wants to take some on for me. I would appreciate any of the help going through that, because that is a lot of Hail Marys to have to say. The $260 that's coming out of my own pocket. That is, there's no one sponsoring money on that. That is my own personal want to give money to charity to continue the work of Blessed Saint Carlo Acutis now, who believed deeply in Eucharistic miracles and helping the hungry and the hungry and the homeless. Good for Carlo, good for Mario. No, yes, Mario 2 experienced some suffering today. So, like always, we are going to end with our prayer. Today's prayer will be a little bit different. We will be praying for the intercession from St. Carlo Acutis, who was just canonized. Let's do that. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Saint Carlo Acutis, pray for us. Today we pray for your intercession for all people who consider themselves gamers, internet people, influencers, social media, whatever modern day technology you want to call it. Intercede on our behalf that we may be like you and emulate you, that we may put down our addictions and focus on the things that truly matter. God, helping people, living a pleasing life. Help us to find temperance. Help us to understand limits. Help us to emulate the example that you set for us. St. Carlo Acutis, today we ask for you to pray for us. We also continue to pray, as always, for special intentions. These are the same intentions Carlo Acutis in his life tried to help: the hungry, the homeless, those who are without. Lord, help them. And finally, we pray for those who have been forgotten, those who have no one left to pray for them, those souls in purgatory. Lord, help them. All this we pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this special stream. Again, we typically don't do anything on Sundays, as this is my day to go spend with God, but today was a special day. St. Carlo Acutis. Check out Catholic Game Reviews, just put out an article on St. Carlo Acutis today that just went out that I wrote. Make sure you check that out. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Don't forget to feast, both because it's Sunday and because of the Carlo Acutis canonization. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you for all the charity. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, like always.